Test 1 2, test 1 2. Turn this up. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Sorry, I'm starting this a bit late, but all the comments I saw today, I thought people would want to have something to share good memories about Inky. Hey, Paul, what's up? Let me fix my chat thing here. Oops, that's not where I wanted it. I wanted it here. There. Let's move that over there. Okay, sorry I haven't done this for a while. I'm all goofed up here. Yeah, I just want to see who would show up. I know everyone's really hurting after Inky's passing, so I thought it'd be a good thing to talk. I tried to come in earlier, but I was just too busy today. But I was watching all the crosstalk in all the different areas, and it's good to have a little area where people can, have some good feelings, good thoughts about Inky, and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm trying to do. So the link's in there if anyone wants to come in. I pin the link once I come into StreamYard. If you just don't do audio, that's fine. You don't have to do video. But I know it's kind of late, but I figured most people are at least still awake, if not fully awake for quite a while. So I can catch most people. It's worth a shot either way. Hey, Chris said, what's up? Come on in if you want. I'm late, but I wanted to have it's all the stuff going online today, and I want to give people a place to have positive memories about Inky and make people feel better. Maybe, hopefully, it was a tough time for sure. So. I know Kent's still doing pubs, but I think he's doing less of them now, so I don't even know if I'll have one tomorrow. So I figured I would have this today, even though it's later in the day. But it's the first chance I had to do anything like this today. So I pinned it there so you guys can jump in if you want. I think the audio is good. Let me know if there's a problem with it. I'm not using loopback or any kind, so only way I can tell what's going on is if to occasionally unmute YouTube and then mute it back again. So get all that silly crosstalk. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Low volume, huh? Okay. Well, I probably just have to talk louder then. Maybe I'm just too low today. How's that? Is that better? I'll just project more. I get spoiled with the headset mic, where it's just right in my face all the time, so I get spoiled just talking normally. But do have to monitor my sound with some speakers in the room, so that's why I don't have it too loud in here, because then I'll get feedback, which is not good. Hello, Tellurian. Half God, everybody. Come on in, jump in. If you don't want to just do audio, come on, let's talk about all of our good memories about Inky. I got millions of them, but you didn't come to hear me chat the whole time, so. Alright, I think that's pretty well set up now. Streams are going. I had some issue with Twitch earlier. I was trying to stream to Twitch, and it's being a son of a bitch today, so I just gave up on it. Suddenly doesn't think I am who I am. So. Wagyu, what's up? Come on in if you want. You can do audio if you don't want to do video. But nobody wants to just hear me yak the whole time. I could tell all kinds of stories and stuff, but this is a group thing, so people can talk about all the good stuff that Inky brought to us. Yeah, I didn't have a chance to join Hardware Jams on Sunday at all. I got really busy with a bunch of stuff. So I didn't even get a chance to tune in for 5 minutes. I had no idea she was gone the whole show. And then people were trying to contact her and stuff. So it's really, really sad. Because she was chatting up a storm on Saturday. And certainly well before that, trying to get me off my butt to get my thing submitted. So could always count on Inky for not only lifting you up, but motivating you, and also reminding you that you have to do what you have to do and you're late or whatever. So she's great at so many things. Hey Grace, what's up? Click the link, somebody. Nobody just wants to hear me the whole time or look at my mug. I just talk louder, that's all. I'm probably low energy today, so I'm probably talking too low. It's probably my fault. So I will talk louder. Because I already have it fairly cranked up in the normal settings. I could do another boost probably. I did do the automatic setting for StreamYard. Maybe that's screwing it up today. Let's fix that. I'll just do manual and hope it doesn't blast you guys. Tell me if that's better or worse. I just turned it up a little bit there. I just don't want it to clip. And StreamYard doesn't give you any good monitoring for clipping or no clipping, so I don't know. There we go. Howdy, howdy.
Hang on a sec. There we go. Oh yeah.
Could be much better circumstances, of course, but I want to just have this out here so people could have a nice place to have their memories and try to cheer each other up, I guess. As difficult as that is.
Yeah, it's rubbish, isn't it?
So yeah. Were you on the show all Sunday? Were you watching the show and noticed that she wasn't there?
I was trying to phone her.
Trying to phone her, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw Brian's message and I'm like, oh man, that was brutal. Very brutal.
Yeah. Oh, hard work, mate.
I know. All right, So tell us a couple of good things maybe we didn't know. Some good stuff about her.
I don't know. I don't know. She's just cool. Let me have a think. I don't know. She always trying to find the best in people, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Very very positive.
Yeah.
I mean, I know many times, especially in the early days of hardware jams, I turned in some crap, and she was extremely positive about it. Like, you don't have to be that nice, you know. So, but that's
Well,
her,
she
you
just
know.
wanted everyone to be part of it, you know.
Totally, yeah.
Who's to say your first jam's going to be any good anyway? You got to start
Exactly, right.
somewhere,
Right.
you know. So if you don't get a positive response on your first jam, you might not do a second jam. So
That's true.
you know, she wanted
Very
people
true.
to join.
Yeah, that was. You know, I occasionally would see people in the chat, even to this day. Some people come in, kind of maybe newbies or something like that, or just out of the blue, and just say some pretty unpleasant stuff. Maybe not meaning it because there's an international audience, so maybe the English isn't as good or whatever. But sometimes you're, ooh, that was a rough comment, you know.
Yeah.
But she would never do that. So.
Oh, she banned me from voting for her.
Really?
She says if she finds me voting for her, she's gonna take the vote off
Oh, that's great.
because it ain't about doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, she says like it's about everybody else. You know,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
and she made sure that every single person who entered, there's at least one person who voted for them.
Right.
So,
My mic is still too low. I just turned the goddamn thing up.
no, you're okay. Well, I don't know if you can hear me okay.
Yeah, I hear you fine.
No, it's all right.
I just don't want it to clip because occasionally I'll get loud and then I'll go. So.
Wow, you know, it's an in thing these days, isn't it? Clipping.
Yeah, you want to have those nice sausage waveforms so everything's
Yeah,
big
things just a
bets.
flat. Yeah, you see the start of the song. It's like a block of wood, and then it ends.
Right.
You know, I prefer dynamics, but some people don't. You know, I have a thing called a volume fade. If it ain't loud enough, turn it up. You know what I mean? I sooner have
Now someone
dynamics.
said they can't hear me. You can't hear me at all, or I'm too low.
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
need
have
more
to find the
feedback.
chat, and let me get the
Well,
chat.
who says 10 dB, and then Half God says can't hear me at all.
Oh, that's half God. He's just having a
So,
moan. I'm taking the notes of him.
is somebody trolling me, or is this? Yeah.
Turn it up, half God. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
Pop
I
the
couldn't
chat
hear myself
up.
at first either because I had my computer volume set too low. So.
Well, at least you haven't got one of those old computers that has fans that can cool your
Well,
house.
this does have it's a laptop, but it's a workstation laptop, so it has a pretty heavy fan in it. And lately, it's been really, really hot indoors, so I have to. Let me find it here. One of these trusty guys underneath
It's
to
still
cool it
mounting
off.
low,
Because
very low.
I'm still low.
That's what you're saying. I do have volume, but it's not 100% system volume turning up.
I mean,
Not
much else I can do to turn it up.
Well, Goo, am I too loud or am I okay? I don't even know. I can change my volume. I don't know where I go to change
you
it.
can in StreamYard, the audio settings. There's a manual setting.
All right. Well, we'll bow to either Grace Griffin or Wagoo for volumes.
I can turn it up a tiny bit more in the mixer, but then it's going to start getting all nasty because there's a high end hum when I get too high. That's about as high as I can get, unless I start. I might have to start screaming.
Yeah, don't scream. You'll wake the neighbors up.
Anyway, so I'm gonna have to turn this on at some point because this thing's already getting fucking hot. So.
Well, Goose says I'm normal, so louder than Synth Addict. There you go.
Aha. Well, I haven't set up this thing for a while, so I probably fucked something up.
I'm going to say that my volume is perfect because I have the cheapest mic available. I've got Behringer mic.
Oh.
That goes into a Behringer audio interface.
Right.
So you know, I am Mr. Beringer. It's good now, he says. Oh, so you fixed it. Cool.
I did. Okay, maybe I just talked real loud, like. "Urgh."
If Cressy whispers and Andy screams, we'll be fine. There you go. That's the ideal balance then. Don't scream too much though. It's not. We're not in
Yeah,
one of your horror shows.
Mic sounds thin. Well, I mean, it's an NT1A. It's not a bad mic, so I don't know what
It's
the
gonna.
fuck's going
Well,
on.
it's yeah. Here's a stupid question. Have you got the mic the right way around? You're not done
Yeah,
a.
it's always facing this way.
Okay, fair enough then. Because I know there's a video of, I think it was Madonna or one of, no, not Madonna. It was, oh, who was it? Lady Gaga, who was doing
Yeah.
a live stream. She was at a piano and she had the microphone the wrong way around, so it was facing away from her.
Well, Kent did that for at least an entire show once. I remember that. So.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. He's a you know, an audio file. So,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, somebody come on. Someone else come in here.
yeah,
Can't just be two of us.
yeah. I've been crying all day. Rubbish.
Yeah. Fortunately, I was a little bit busy with doing a couple random things, so I got distracted a little bit. But yeah, if I sit too long and think about it, it's rough, man. It's real rough.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it? So you know.
Well, it was weird because I fell asleep on the couch last night in not the best position, and I woke up and I had to go to the restroom, and then I had this weird urge to check my my social media stuff, and then I saw it and I went, oh my god, that's unbelievable. And I didn't know about Sunday because I wasn't around on Sunday, so I didn't even know she wasn't at the Harvard Jam thing. So
Yeah.
I was like, holy fuck.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's awful.
We were talking about you early on, me and Grace, about your show. Yeah, saying like, you know, next time you have a show, I'll try and go on. And like 10 minutes later, hello.
There we go. Yeah, I like I said when I started this, I was gonna do it earlier today, but it just got too busy. So I try to start at least early enough where I can catch most of you guys, because I know some people don't want to be online too late or go to bed early or something. So fortunately, I did get here in time for you folks. But yeah, it's very odd because I don't believe in any kind of like sixth sense kind of stuff, but it was just odd that I was like, oh, maybe I should check my social media right now. And I went, oh my god, it's just shocked.
Well, you know, this goes to prove you don't know what's going to happen around the corner here. Every day could be your last day. You don't know.
Well, exactly, yeah. Even something. I mean, my mom got leukemia in her 40s. I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? You know. So you just never know. It's just I other than like Lisa and Dom and stuff, I don't know too many people lately who've.
That's good.
Like that.
But
I had a whole run in the 90s where it was like, 6, 7 people in a row. Grandparents, a parent, some friends, a coworker. Boom, 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 boom. Just surrounded by the stuff. And it's like, Jesus, brutal. Yeah. It's just not.
Yeah. She's totally made it with her new bits of kit. She was loving that wave state. She loved that.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't hear anything she made with it yet, but
yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
Well, her festival jammers with a wave state.
Oh, it is okay. I'm behind. I got to catch up on that stuff.
Yeah. They've clipped it and put it on the hardware jams page. It's just on its own. So
check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, she was finding effect. She wanted to do an EMOM. Desperately wanted to do an EMOM. She was talking about it the other day, saying like, I love the wave state and I love the MC707 and they're really light, but they're big. So it's going to be a pain in the arse to move them around. I say, you just get a fucking big carrier bag, you'll be fine.
Sure. You know? Yeah. I mean, I have a big, it's one of these big kind of a duffel bag type thing made by Moog. It says Moog on it.
Yeah.
And all my stuff I can't fit in my modular cases, the metal cases, goes in that shoulder bag. So my KeyStep Pro, some supports, some cables, my lights, all kinds of crap go into one bag over my shoulder, and then I just carry the two suitcase style Eurorack cases, and I'm good to go. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's that stuff never gets easier. It's no matter how many people you lose and how many, I mean, even doctors, see horrible stuff constantly, and just they get jaded to a point. I'm assuming, but you never totally prepared for stuff. So it's just
No, no. You always think. I was just thinking it today. You always think there's a tomorrow, and sometimes there ain't a tomorrow. So make the
exactly
best of what you got.
yeah.
I found that out when I had my stroke. Everything sort of like you had
Oh wow,
stupid plans in the future you were going to do, and then you
I didn't know
go,
you had
oh,
that. That's terrible.
I'm still alive. Amazing. And
Yeah, yeah,
you reapproach everything
sure.
differently. So I was just like, really happy that we became friends. That
Yeah,
was really cool.
yeah, she's fun. I also like her little mystery pop-in pub moments where she's had a little few too many drinks and having a good
I
time.
know,
So.
yeah. Ever so slightly embarrassing, but
Oh, it's great.
I think everyone who gets drunk can get a little bit, loud and
My
embarrassing.
favorite was still the push three discussion. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, she wasn't a fan of the push free.
She and Kent went at it. It was great.
Yeah.
It was so much
Well,
fun.
yeah, it's good. I mean, unlike where we are usually in 2024, it's actually good to have a real debate, even if you are
Oh
sloshed.
yeah,
You know what I
totally.
mean?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
me
definitely.
and Inky had proper stupid fucking arguments about ridiculous bits of tech that I
Yeah,
disagreed with, and how things should be.
sure.
You know, so we proper fell out, and then she came back and went, whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean? She's like, I'm a twat, but what can you do?
Yeah,
Well,
everyone
I think the
like
thing that she said to me, we were both very similar, both really stubborn on stupid little points that really mean nothing. We
yeah.
wouldn't,
Well, I mean that's bound to happen. You get passionate about something, even if it's something kind of dopey.
yeah.
People are gonna fight over it. So
But, we liked a lot of loads of things as the same. Lots of things are all very. I just find it interesting that she didn't like my music, but she would listen to it and she would
really,
appreciate it. Yeah, well, not didn't like. It wasn't her thing. It's a better way
oh.
of putting it. She's into
Not
like tech.
even John Alchemy on the balcony. Come on.
Oh no. She liked that. Yeah, well,
Ah.
she's in that as well, isn't she? So well, everybody's in that. I think you're in that, yeah. I think
That
Synth had
was
a good.
funny. I was listening. I go, what? That's
Oh, yeah,
hilarious.
I think you got a shout out on that. That was my way of learning how to use the SP404. Thought
It
the
was
best way
excellent.
is
Yeah.
to do a fucking song on it, and because when you got a new piece of gear and you're trying to learn it, and you look to the left or you look to the right, and there's the gear that you actually do know, thinking, I'll just use that. I'm like,
Yeah.
no, we're doing it on the SP404. I don't care how horrible it is because it's
Oh yeah.
all new and don't know how it works. We're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the Machina Plus thing started, and I fell in love with it because it's like not only was it powerful and it gave me the stuff I like from using the DAW, but it was totally mobile and gave me the incredible pads and control and stuff.
Yeah.
And I could do the whole damn thing on there. So much so that I almost use it exclusively now, which is kind of funny. So
Yeah, well, yeah, you do. Well, it's sort of your thing now, isn't it?
it's just so much fun, and the pads really are. I mean, I have so many stupid pad controllers.
They are the best
And,
pads. Even
and
even Lisa said they are the best pads, and
like
she doesn't like the Machina, but she recognises you can't undeny the undeniable.
like this was decent. This pad control from Korg was pretty
All
cool.
right,
Plus,
yeah.
plus the XY pad gives you all kinds of cool shit, rolls and flams and all kinds of stuff.
Excuse me.
If you're into drums and all that. But the feel, the travel, the feel, the pressure sensitivity, and all this magic you can get with tweaking arpeggiator, tempo, uh, pressure with filters and effects and all that stuff at once, all in real time. Gives you some of the best amazing control I've ever done on anything, even the keyboard. It's crazy. It's amazing what you can do with that thing.
Hi, David, in the chat, by the way. Ace of Stripe. He just said hi. Yeah, it's like, I mean, like Inky was like totally into her MPC, but she wasn't afraid of trying something new.
Well, I'm glad you like that 707 because it has a cool feature set. I just couldn't get along with it because it's a tiny screen and it's less fiddly than the 101, which I have, but it's still
she really liked the what do you call it? What Roland call it? Scatter effect.
Oh yeah,
you can do stuff with the scatter, and you can like reprogram the knobs and stuff to do all different things.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
She's into that, so that's why she liked that.
Yeah, and she was a circuit queen. She loves circuits. So I talked to her about circuits all the time because I got a circuit when it was brand new. Almost nobody was using them.
Yeah,
because they didn't come up with the software to really tweak the shit out of them.
I think she had 2 circuits, if I remember.
She had 2 circuits and the circuit mono station, which is basically
she loved the mono
station 2 in a circuit box, which is really cool.
Yeah, she thought that was amazing.
And so I wanted to get one of those, and after talking to her for a little bit, I go, I have to get one. And I've only used it 5-6 times ever, but it is cool. It's just, like anything else, you have to spend some time with it.
Yeah.
It's a little weird because it's instead of like the circuit where it's polyphonic voices and then some rhythm section, it's like 2 monophonic voices, which is cool but kind of annoying if you want to do some thicker sounds and stuff.
Yeah, but you could parameter lock it, couldn't you?
You could, but like they didn't do upgrades to it like they did on the Base Station 2, like the Aphex mode.
Right.
They didn't go that, even though it's the same engine, basically, they didn't add cool stuff like that to it. So it's kind of stuck where it was and never got any better. So it was cool for what it did, but it was, it just never got an upgrade from what I remember. So you had to love it or you just moved to something else,
Yeah.
But
she was trying to get a live set kit worked out, what to take. She went through loads of things. In the end, I think she was thinking, well, I think for the festival she used the 707, the Wave State, and the Force. I think she used the Force.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Yeah, she got into the Force a lot as well, which is cool. Yeah. I like it too. It's just sadly like the bastard stepchild of Kai right now is they don't really support it, even though the engine is basically the same as the MPC now. That the build path is very similar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We fell out over that as well.
Yeah. Version 3. I'm going, it'll be fine. And no, it's shit. It's going to be rubbish. No. Havak, I'll let you down before and it'll be fine. She's but she's all about, track mutes. And I don't use track mutes. So I don't. So you can see her point of view. She's like, track mutes don't work. It's a disaster. I go, well, I don't use track mutes, so I don't care. You know what I mean? So it's like,
they're all stirred up.
Yeah. But
that's funny.
Yeah, whatever. It will be fine in the end. They will sort it out. But like I told you, if say they don't sort it out, who cares? Just stay with 2 point whatever. You'll be fine. It still fucking works, doesn't it? So
I still, if I didn't find Machina Plus, I would be using my Force nonstop because it is very, very good. It's just every time MPC adds something, you're like, okay, when are we going to get on the Force? And then, usually had to wait like 6 months or whatever the hell it was. And now it's been waiting
for a bit though, wasn't it? It had Hype Synth. We didn't have Hype Synth for years.
It had that, yeah, but it also missed a whole bunch of shit they promised up front. That took like a year to come out for it, like the disc streaming.
Oh, see you, Grace. Catch you later.
Oh, bye, Grace. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, thanks.
This streaming. What was the other thing? Oh, arranger mode. Took forever to get some kind of arranger mode on it.
She hated arranger mode. Never used it.
It's not great, but at least you have it. Because like on a,
I know, yeah.
Think about Electron Digitact, right? Probably the last version they came out with, that the original, the last OS of the original hardware, probably added it at some point. I lost track, but for a long time they didn't. So you had to have this hack to give yourself pseudo arranger mode, right? And it's just like, I don't know. People take that for granted. It's kind of nice to have that shit.
Yeah.
So. But the Force, I love the Force because the playing surface is huge, right? And it still gives you the wide pads, so you can like little drum roll kind of stuff.
Yeah, the wide for 2 fingers, aren't they? So you can do,
which is super smart. Yeah, you still get the and all those extra pads. So guys like Nick Trakakis has a custom play style where he has literally 64 drums at his fingertips.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? And then each drum can be a variation with effects, no effects, different pitches.
It's a great idea. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I looked at the Force as well, so I think a lot of people have, so we'll see where it goes. It might.
But they're both very menu divey, so I don't think any of them win in that respect. They both have terrible menu divey stuff going on.
It depends it depends how you look at it. You can say it's menu divey, or you can say it's feature rich. If it's feature rich, you're gonna have to menu dive. If it's got fuck all in it, then you won't be menu diving. But then you'll be complaining there's fuck all in it. So it's a balance, isn't it? It's a balance.
It's true. But I like the feature rich because that's good marketing ease. So it's
yeah. Oh yeah. That's typical. Sorry, I had my Roland hat on then. It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. But there's a what do you call it? There's a judgment call on when you're making something to how much stuff you put in it and how much stuff you decide. You have a meeting and you decide not to put in it.
Well, and it's true of anything, even just software. I mean, I doing all the QA stuff at Apple for years. One little thing can fuck up the whole tree.
I'll give you for instance. Right, so version what we're on now, 4.4 of SP404 is undeniably feature rich. They put so much in it, and I've got an SP404 and I've had it for quite a while. And I've done one song on it.
Hello.
Oh,
good evening.
Hiya.
How's it going? Sorry, I hope you weren't sitting there too long. I was distracted. So
let him talk. What about the 404?
Oh yeah, I just saying the 404 is feature rich, but it's hard to use. It's hard to get your head around it because there's a lot of shortcuts you need to remember, and they're not exactly easy to remember. But I also bought recently the Teenage Engineering KO2, the little thing that looks like another thing. What is it with beatboxes looking like calculators? But that properly does look like a calculator.
Exactly, like an old business calculator from the 80s.
Yeah. I mean that isn't a feature rich product. That's a feature unrich product. That is hardly a menu to dive into. But I've done 3. Well, I'm on my 3rd song. I'm doing my 3rd song on it. I did a song. I got the SP. So I got the KO2 on a Sunday, and I put my jam in on Hardware Jams on a Monday. So I had not even had it 24 hours, and I'd created a song, and I played and changed the scenes live on it, and did all the what they call them punching effects and all that shit. And not even had it a day and got a song out of it. So
yeah, when I saw the KO2 first time, it was the video from Andertons. I mean, the first one in the world, I think, who had it.
Right, yeah.
And when I saw it, I saw the picture of it like 1 hour prior to that. I was like, wow, this must be one of the AI pictures, that somebody made something beautiful, which we're never gonna have it. And then I see it on the video. Oh man, what? I straight away pre-order it, so I was in the first wave in the UK to get it, man. And the thing is absolutely awesome. I have it for my kids for the Christmas.
I was like the original KO. The
KO2, the new one, the calculator.
Oh, right, okay. Cool.
Man, I was just blown away that somebody was able to make something so beautiful, So I was just, whatever it does, I don't care. I love how it looks.
It's got that allure, hasn't it? It's got that design allure. You go,
yeah. Man, now imagine 2 boys, 8 and 9 years old, under the Christmas tree making an industrial track on it. That's what happened. dude, I really love that, and I really understand your point with 404. I had 404 for 1 year, and I couldn't touch it, man. I tried 3 times, and I just couldn't get. I just cannot.
It's very deep. It's some things that I just don't like. Like when you're in pitch mode, basically, you call it, or whatever you call it, chromatic mode. You only get 2 octaves to play with, which is rubbish in my book. And if you do scales, rather than using all the pads and they all change, they blank out pads to change what notes are in the scale. So it just makes it. Whereas on the KO2, you have less buttons. You only have 12. You don't have 16, but it lets you use all of them, and it lets you do 6 octaves. You know, so it's if you look at it, it's not as feature rich overall, but the things it has got are fucking well designed and really easy to get.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't like that. I would say Roland way how to do digital things, man. It's just I never could work with Roland in my life.
It's got good things on it. It's like for editing a
I'm not saying it's no, man. It's as you said, it's future rich. It's amazing machine, but the workflow is just not for me. It's just from another planet, another world for me.
It's a bit of a curve, isn't it? I mean, Inky saw my KO2 video, the first one. She was going like, "How much was it?" It's like, so you've got so much kit, you don't need it. She went, "Yeah, I know, but how much is it?" She's like, totally wanted one. You know what I mean? Because she just saw that she knew that I had it for less than a day, and I just put out a track on it, and she went, "Hmm." And she looked. She said, she said to me, "You found your thing." You know what I mean? You found the thing that works for you for doing jams.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
You know, so she fucking spot on. You know.
Like I just recently bought last week. I found one guy selling Emu XL7, the command station, which is what?
I have 3 of them.
Sorry,
I have 3 of those suckers. Well, the different color ones, but they're the same engine. Those are great.
Yeah, the orange, yellow, purple, and silver one, isn't it?
Yeah, I got all 3 of them. They're cool.
Oh, shame on you.
I know.
And when I had it,
too much.
I seriously sold it 20 years ago, and when I coming back now, last week, I nearly cried from nostalgia, and the sound is just something. It's
well, the features too. I mean, the control surface is amazing. The virtual patch cords inside,
yeah, but those filters, man, that is something. Yeah. I mean, that's a 25 years old technology, still not being chased by anybody. It's just second to none. The Z1 filter is just mental. Morphine filter. Who would think of that?
The Z-plane. They got the Z-plane filters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
And if you imagine, the one of the ROM cards got only 32 megs, but it sounds so full and massive. It's just, if you like, when I'm playing with it, I feel like I got I don't know, sounds from Depeche Mode, let's say. They've been always putting few sounds together to make another sound, so this sounds similar to that.
I mean, they use Emax 2 a lot, and that has the same architecture, basically. So,
yeah.
It's amazing how much kit we have and how much we know about each kit, because quite a few, any type of groove box takes some learning to know how it works. And a lot of us, I mean, you're ridiculous, but we'll just bypass you for a minute. But most people have a decent-ish collection of stuff, don't they? You're basically like a pawn shop from the 1980s.
But to be fair, I mean, I started buying stuff in the early 90s that I didn't already have, like the cheap stuff, right? And then eBay came along, and I'm like, forget about it, right? And I was working, and I had money, and eBay, and it was just a crazy combination.
And lots of space at home.
Well, no, I had to move to a place that had space. In my old apartment, most of the shit was in the closet and in storage spaces because there's no way I could have set an eighth of it up, right? So when a friend came over to jam, I had to put some plywood on my bed. I had a futon on the floor. I put plywood on my bed, as a couple multi-tier X stands on that, and he would stand on my bed and play while I played at my computer desk. And that was how we did our early jams in like 2008. But then I don't know. I just liking, because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm an analog guy, I'm a digital guy, an FM guy, whatever." I like it all. I don't give a shit. Sampling, the whole works. So I wanted a little bit of everything. I wanted a real FM. I wanted some hybrid. I wanted some wavetable. I wanted this and that. And that's how I started getting all these weird little things. And pretty soon I started finding deals for all kinds of shit that was like, "Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Do I need it? No, but let's get it anyway." And that's when it just gets out of hand, right? So
it's proper out of hand with you.
Yeah. But man, it's fun. I mean, I have every once in a while pull something out and I go, I don't remember how to use this thing. So now it was an adventure tonight and how to learn how to play it again, so.
Well, yeah.
And
yeah,
I quickly find out sometimes now the unit's defunct because of whatever issue, right? So I have several broken things that just broke on their own. I didn't do anything to them.
What's your desert island things then? If you're going to go to a desert island, you can take 5 things with you. What would you take?
An iPad full of my favorite apps. That does a lot right there.
Okay.
The V-Synth is cool because it's a synthesizer, it's a sampler,
You got
it's a crazy control.
Stupid question.
V-Synth.
Well, that's my avatar.
Oh,
you look at my little synthetic avatar. It's a V-Synth.
Okay. Didn't know.
This is genius thing, man.
I have the V-Synth and the XT with the rack mount one.
Right.
I wanted a GT, but it's literally 2 V-Synth originals in the same box, and they're very expensive.
Yeah.
So I'd love to get one of those, but they're always too high.
Okay.
The problem with the V-Synth original is you can get the D50 card for it and the voice card for it, for the vocal processor, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the vocal one, forget about it. I found one, I don't know, 10 years ago. It was like hen's teeth. Good luck trying to find that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have it, which is cool. But the XT includes the D50 and the voice thing in the same thing. It's already in the box. The only drawback to the XT is the time trip pad is your stupid screen. So you have to go into a mode to use the time trip pad. And I like the real time trip pad on the Surface while I'm looking at the screen. It just feels better. It works better, right? So there's a drawback there. Also, the Wagyu can correct me on this. I think he has one. The D-Beam, I think, is not on the XT, and it's definitely on the original, but I forgot. I don't think there's room for a D-Beam on the XT. So
okay, so what's the 3rd, 4th, and 5th thing then?
Polyevolver, because I get nice analog digital combo with crazy.
You're going to have a drum machine anywhere. You need a drum machine.
Well, the iPad can do a lot of that, right?
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
no, obviously the Machina Plus at this point, that would be one of my favorite things to take. One more thing. I'd have to think about that. Oh, probably my A-frame, ATV A-frame.
Oh yeah. You've done jams with just that before, haven't you?
It's amazing because it does synthy stuff. It does percussive stuff that sounds like samples, even though it's DSP. It does the wackiest stuff. There's no drum I've ever played that's that expressive.
There you go.
What about you, Robert, MPC?
What about you, Robert? What's your go-to pieces of kit?
I don't know, man. Well, lately I was really using mainly MPC because it's just powerful.
It's a proper studio in the box, isn't it? So yeah, you can have one. You could just have the MPC, you'd be fine.
Yeah, you can start and finish basically if you want.
I've done well. I would say about 95% of my stuff is the MPC.
It's just convenient. It's easy, and I like one thing about it that if you, I've been talking about that. You have to relearn sometimes, whatever you have, some piece of kit which you're not using for some time, especially the electron stuff. With MPC, you got always the touch screen when you got the help, whatever, you always find a way how to do things.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through the manuals or anything. At least I didn't have to. I always find a way how to do it straight away on the machine, which is for me absolutely novelty.
Yeah. There's a few things I
Then
didn't know. Like I was having a moan to Inky a while, saying like, it'd be good if the NPC had a fucking step sequencer, wouldn't it? It's like, why hasn't it got? It's got one. Says, that's it. Where's the step sequencer?
Buried in there. Yeah.
I know, yeah. I never come across it. I'm one of these.
That's what I mean about the menu divey part of it. It's cool that
Yeah.
it has all that shit, but you got to find it. Right.
Yeah. And then we were looking at something only the other week. There was a thing being released by Akai. I can't remember what they called it now, but it was like it's a bit like a scatter type effect. And all she said, I won't bother that. I'll just use this. I went, where's that? I have never seen that fucking plugin ever. Where is it? And she says, I don't know. I've got my. When she opened her MPC up, all she had was an A to Z list, and it was I can't remember what it was called now, but it was basically the plugin had a little touch strip to the left, and you can move your finger up and down to like do like a scatter of whatever the effect was, and you had lots of effects in it. But I've never seen that ever. And I'm sure I've looked through my stuff before. So I went, hang on a minute. You just stay there. I'm going to go and switch my MPC on. Went downstairs. 10 minutes later, found it. Buried at the bottom of, I think it was in modulation, because mine's all divided by.
Are there shortcuts where you don't have to dig each time? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
I don't know them either.
Yeah.
That's the thing with NPC, that you will find a way find the things in different ways.
She
But you
knew
always
that
will.
NPC inside out, mate, honestly. She made me
Yeah,
look
she was a
complete
master.
idiot sometimes.
I remember her teaching Dom.
Oh yeah, those classes are great.
Yeah.
Man, that should be that should be on the BBC.
And Ken was like, "What the fuck? Where are you guys?" You know, he's totally lost.
Yeah. Ken looking completely lost. That's it.
Yeah. Oh man, that was fun.
Yeah, she was nice.
Yeah, and there is another effect on the NPC, the new one, which is paid for, which is like some vintage style, which they're trying to make out of NPC 404 as well.
Oh, Flavor Pro.
That's the one, and I love that.
You've already got Flavor. So the Pro version is just more of the same with a few more.
Is it flavor or flavor?
Don't ask me.
Something like
numbers
that.
Can't spell. Don't ask me. It's with an F. How about that?
Right.
Yeah. Does that help? No. But you know, sorry.
Go on.
It's just like I said, like most of the things in the free OS that you are given.
Hey, Rich, thanks for coming by.
You've already got enough. You know what I mean? You don't need to go and buy anything. Oh, Rich is in. Hi, Rich.
Hello. I got some stupid echo here. I don't know how to switch it off.
So, real quick, I wanted to try something here. I hope the audio works, but it's not because I made it. It's because I had a little project. If you guys remember Hardware Jams a while back, I went through all the pubs, and I sampled Inky and a little bit of Sasquatch, and I made this little dialogue between them for the 3 Men in a Pub challenge.
Yeah.
And I picked the grumpy one. So he's the grumpy man, and she's coming in trying to talk to him in the pub. And it's one of the most elaborate hardware jams I ever made, because I literally had to go I learned Audacity multi-tracking.
Oh, yeah.
And I had like, I don't know, 8 layers or 10 layers of audio layers in Audacity for creating some samples with the multi-track baked in. And then I dumped them in the Machina Plus and fired them off along with some other crap. Or maybe I used the 404 back then. I can't remember. But anyway, you'll see the video. It'll come up here. But I'll make sure the audio works. But it's very funny because she loved it. Because she and Sasquatch really got along.
Yeah.
And so she said, she was like joking around, like, how did you know we had a thing for each other? Kind of like laughing like that, because they have their kind of they're kind of playful in the audio.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of funny, and her comments, if you watch my video, the comments down there from her are classic. So she really liked this, and it's very funny, and it's even though it's random clips of her, I think it's very Lisa. So let me see if I can get this to present. Okay. Share. checkbox here for the audio. Let me see here. Allow share audio. Okay, cool. It looks like it's good. So let me know right away if it doesn't work, and I'll stop in and fix it.
Okay.
So here we go. Share. And let's play it. You'll figure out the story. It's kind of a, she's driving up, or she gets a flat tire and whatever. So. You heard okay?
Every time. It rocks them.
So I had to find all these sound effects and build these layers.
I don't actually know most of them.
How the devil are you? You could have repaired. Did yourself solely repair? I'd have a glass of wine or something. Hang on.
Cross your fingers. Is that better?
It's all resolved now.
Anyway, you get the idea. There's some music at the end, so. You guys hear that okay?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, it's fine,
Yeah.
mate. Really good.
So it's just a fun little collage of her having a little interaction with this grumpy guy in the pub, and he helps her fix a flat tire, and then off she goes. So,
Yeah.
so. She loved it, so I really wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah. Oh man.
She's like, "How many hours did you go through to find all the fucking sounds of me doing all that stuff?" Yeah.
Well, when you're on
You
a
don't wanna
mission, you're on a
know.
mission, aren't you? You know, when
Yeah, I
you
mean, I
when you get your
literally
head down and
listened.
stuff.
Yeah, I listened to probably at least 5 or 6 entire shows just to get those clips of her and him, and then had to source all the environmental sounds, and it was insane. That was back when I could spend more time before the due date for the hardware jams, instead of doing them like last minute. So,
Well, last minute sort of works, though, doesn't it? I've done a few last minute ones.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great.
I said to Inky, I'm not going to do a jam this week. I can't. I just can't think of anything. And then the stream through starts. I'm going, oh, whatever. All right, and I will. So then I'm like messaging her saying like, is it too late? Because I've sort of got something going now. And she's like pissed off. She's like, I'm drunk. You can't ask me to upload your fucking thing.
Yeah.
She still did, so she's cool. But yeah, last minute. You're the king of the last minute, and I try to be a few times the last minute. But yeah, which is cool, man.
It's fun. I mean, that the push to get it done is definitely, lights a fire under your ass for sure.
It does. It definitely
So
does.
that's good. But then I
Yeah.
can't do things like that where more elaborate. Where I had, it was a whole lot of work. It was fun and it made her chuckle. So that's, that made me happy.
Yeah.
So,
Sometimes you're like trying. Well, I was trying to hack a video together as well. Another time, a few times ago, like, I can't even do the fucking video. Fuck this.
Yeah,
It just
exactly.
has to be
Yeah.
SoundCloud. It'll have to do.
Yeah.
And it was like a picture and SoundCloud. There you go. It's done. But at least you've done it though. You know what I mean? She
Yeah,
wanted,
sure.
she wanted everyone to have a go at doing jams.
Yeah.
It gets you off because I was talking to Grace earlier, saying that Inky wanted me to co-host a chat show with her, and I says, like, mate, we've got so many chat shows. We should really be concentrating on doing music. There's so many people talking about doing it. How about just doing it? How about making the music? And she sort of she got it, but she also I think she liked what when I was doing, like when I was on your stream. The thing I like about your stream and a few other people's like JX3D is, the host doesn't hog the chat.
No.
You get people who can actually talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's not about me.
So it says me.
I enjoy doing it, but it's certainly not about me. It's about the whole thing. So
yeah, that to me is the best type of chat show about music. It's actually about music and not going off on stupid tangents.
Yeah.
And trying to be mindful that it's not just us three talking to each other. I mean, it is.
yeah.
We got a whole stack of people in the chat. You have to try and make it interesting for them.
Also, I'm not
Otherwise,
promoting stuff really, so it's like just talk about anything. I don't give a shit. I'm like, oh, hold on, I got to get my plug in for
Yeah, just try and make it relevant for everybody, so that everyone can get a bit of value out of it.
Yeah.
It's everybody's day that they decided to come and have a listen. So.
Well, I can remember the first time as far as I know, we ever saw Synchrotron. He came on one of these little things, and he was shy about coming on the other one. And he goes, "Oh, this is low key. This is mellow. No one's."
Yeah, well, that's why I came on, because it was low key. Thought,
yeah,
well,
and
nobody's watching. It'll be fine.
Exactly, and a bunch of other people came on
Doesn't
after
matter.
that. I remember even Ty came on here one time. Remember that? That was sometime last year, I think. Ty came on once. It was hilarious. So yeah, whatever. Everyone's welcome. It's no big deal. And
yeah, you should keep this up, because it's.
I enjoy
like the
it.
format.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah,
I like the format. It's easy going, but it's about music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's been a
We're gonna be
else coming
talking
in?
about. Sorry.
I was gonna say, anyone else coming in? We only got three slots. Come on. I got
Yeah,
up
I'm
to 10.
saying.
More
Anyone
people
else?
can come in.
3 slots. Oh, come on.
I got 7 more to go.
We're gonna be talking about.
Mind you,
things-
Wagyu will probably have it'll be in the middle of a data machine, won't he? Be like having fans.
The
in
van,
his ears
yeah.
and stuff. I remember him being on before. He had to have his mic with like a noise gate on it.
Well, I assumed he had no choice. It turned out a fan was blowing on him. So once we told him, he moved it, and it was fine. But that's because we didn't speak up and say, "Hey, turn that fan down." I thought it was a server making noise. So.
Oh man.
You were saying, Robert?
That's the other Dave. You're talking to Ace of Stripe. She loved your video you did doing the Inky the cat thing with the kids and you jumping up behind the stuff in the video. She loved that. Absolutely loved that.
Wait, which one?
The Inky the cat sort of theme that Dom did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dave and his kids did a little video of
Oh,
them
they did. Oh, wow.
going up and down behind. I can't remember, behind a settee or something.
I didn't see that.
And she thought that was hilarious and brilliant, So yeah.
Is that shared anywhere, Dave?
It's on video somewhere, because she shared it with me, so I've seen it. So it's around somewhere. Dave can figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really nice.
That's cool.
We're gonna be talking about the synthesizers and things not being future age.
Yeah.
I got one secret pleasure, Oberheim OB12.
Is that feature rich?
I got one over
Oh,
there.
actually, it is bloody future rich, but people are shaming it, of course, because it's not a proper Oberheim.
It's Viscount.
Does-
Yeah,
It doesn't sound even like a proper VA,
it's
But
it's a
man-
good VA actually. It's really good actually.
but it's
But
the best industrial synthesizer in the world.
Yeah, it's fun.
It sounds completely different than anything else.
And it's built really like a tank.
Yeah, and it's
Amazing
beautiful.
metal case.
And it's beautiful. It's just the presence of it. I had it twice. I just don't have a space for it.
It's big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's massive and heavy. Man. When I was a youngster, I had a Techno Live Act, and I've been playing with that thing live, man. And then Exile 7 altogether. That was fun.
So what's your desert island will be MPC and OBX then, yeah? That'll do. Mind you, that's big enough, isn't it? The OBX, you can use that as a boat.
I don't have the OB anymore, but
Oh, you had
I
one?
don't know. The second one definitely would be the Pulsar 23.
Hmm.
Because that thing is just endless sonic pleasure, man. It's just
Didn't Inky have one
whatever.
as well, I think?
Sorry?
Did Inky have one?
That's another story.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
She had-
Shutting up. Fine. Yeah.
Good.
Nice
Thank
weather
you.
we're having. Yeah.
I'm a little bit in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that thing is seriously it's my favorite Sonic playground forever. I had
Yeah,
mine for 4 years, or I don't know how
It's
long.
like an untamable beast.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. He's
You're
like
not,
a
not
walking a
sure what you're gonna
crocodile.
get out of it. You're not sure what you're doing, and when
Did
it
you
gets
have that
away from you,
expansion
you ain't
for
got
it?
a clue what to do.
There's that expansion thingy for it. Did you have that?
I had it, but it's just worthless shit, man. To be honest, I don't know why they make it.
Yeah, it looked cool. I thought.
It looks cool, but I cannot imagine myself, to take out Pulsar and next to it, that thing together. I always thought that there's gonna be some audio as well on it, which is not. There is nothing about the timing, which is shame, or the clocking. So it's basically just doubled few things which is on the Pulsar anyway, and it's not really like something I would really miss. I just don't need it at all. And I think I would take my Iridium. I was very surprised with that thing because I always thought that Waldorf is too cold and too I don't know what. And to be honest, if I had only Iridium, I wouldn't mind. And probably Tiger.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one. Looks good.
Tiger is amazing.
Is it Taiga Keys or Taiga?
I think it doesn't matter. It's the same shit anyway.
Yeah, same thing pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, the filter is just. And seriously, whatever setting you got on the filter, it always sounds good and always smooth. It can be wild, it can be tamed, it's and I never heard filter like that. Anyway.
Yeah. Yep. No one else coming in? Come on, man. A lot of folks here.
Yeah. Depends where Richard is, doesn't it? He might be on a plane or something, or
Oh yeah, he's pretty busy.
Man, he is a superstar. When I asked him once, just listen, what mic do you use? Because you got always pretty absolutely amazing sounds. I'm just writing back. Listen, we just on the plane and we going somewhere, but take this and this and this and this. Sorry, we lifting off. He's just absolutely calm down and absolutely down to earth. He's an amazing guy. I met him actually once on the Dom's funeral, and
Yeah.
it was a good time with him. He is a very nice bloke.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Richard wanted to meet up with Lisa, but she's really shy. So
Yeah, as you can imagine.
she wanted to. Don't get me wrong. She wanted to, but you know, it's hard
Yeah, I
work.
noticed that she always liked to hide behind her mic like this when she's on
Yep.
the different shows.
Yeah, yeah. She's like me. I'm shy. Hence the cat picture.
Hey.
She always come across like, oh, sorry, I'm not worthy. It was very, very sad that she was an angel. Oh, Dave.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey guys.
Got some good Inky memories.
Well, I was just saying in the chat, I remember me and my daughter making that silly little thing
I
on
never
the
saw that.
kitchen table. We were just tapping it out. It was when they
Is
were
it on your
doing-
channel?
I don't know where it is, man. It might be
Oh.
on. It might be actually with. I was just thinking it might be on the show I did with Dom.
Oh, right. Okay, right.
Yeah, we were just doing the Inky the cat. You know, what do you think about that? And I don't even know where that came from. It was something going on, but
Yeah,
I didn't know Inky then, and I remember she saw it, and she was so excited. She's like, "Oh, you're the one that made the video."
Are
You
you the one that instigated the riff? Then you did that.
I don't. No, we couldn't have, did we? I don't even remember.
I don't know. I think Dom made a lot of those up himself, but I don't remember.
I just remember we were doing some kind of. I just created the beat. You know, I had it with my hand, and my daughter was coming up and down.
Oh, it was brilliant. She loved it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was just,
absolutely fucking loved it.
yeah, it was really cool, and that's kind of how our friendship started. You know, so man, she was so encouraging. She's the reason I did Harbor Jams when I did it. You know,
Yeah.
There's just so much I owe her so much. Just you know, being such a amazing person and so easy to talk to, easy to just laugh with. She was always so funny. Like she'd get the jokes, you know, the Sir checks, and I don't know. We had so many different derivations of my name after a while. Swerve check, and I could get. I can't even remember some of them right now. I got to start thinking. But she would remember the next time she saw me and start popping it. You know, it was just super cool, and I really appreciated her so much. Even though I wish I'd had a chance to tell her, but I guess I just tried to be, you know, always be friendly and respectful. You know, so it's just tough, man. It's just unbelievably shocking. So
Yeah.
But, yeah, definitely. It's rough.
She was one of the people, you know, when you talk to her for first time, you just get the feeling like you'll know her forever.
Yeah, she's very welcoming. Yeah.
No, I said it a few times today, but when Dom left us, I mean, she was with me every day, and we spent hours, man, on the chat just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got to know her, to talk to her a lot about Dom. Because she's having a real rough time with that.
Yeah, I remember.
It's been a crappy last couple of years on that sort of front, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, after Corona, this shit happened, man. It's just, you know, we lost so many people, and now
I know.
I think it all is over.
Devastating. Yeah, it is. I know.
Why the twats cannot go? You know what I mean? Why these people?
Don't know. Because they burn so brightly, I think. That's why.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's will never be.
She was everywhere, mate. She knew everybody.
Yeah, she's one of a kind. Really, legitimately one of a kind. I mean, it's not an understatement by any means.
She got Jamie's show started. She got Ramsey's show off the ground. Getting people to be, you know, just to come and watch.
Yeah.
Well, she even talks about the old days when Jamie was like a DJ. You know, before Jamie had all these other shows, he was like a dance guy, DJ guy, whatever, and she's always talking about that too.
Yeah.
So he's been around a long time doing all that stuff.
She got Darren to go and run his show. You know. So she got guests on Dom's show. She got guests on Jamie's show. She sorted all, you know what I mean? She did loads of things. And guests don't just pop up. They need to be coerced to come on and have a chat and make
I
sure
kind of forced my way into Ramsey's show.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But no,
And
it's
she got
fun.
so many people to get off their arse and actually make music and put it on, you know, get things going, rather than just talking about it and dusting it and having it as a backdrop. Actually fucking use it.
Oh yeah, between you and Cress, between you and Inky, if both you, when you guys started the double team, it was pretty.
I know. We're on a bit of a mission, I think.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was cool though. It was all, you know, for the right reasons, and it's yeah.
We got most people to do stuff, you know. So winning.
But yeah, I'm pretty convinced there's quite a few people that wouldn't. I know I would have never done a hardware jams without getting kind of.
Well, I said to Inky, I don't do hardware jams. I write songs. He says, doesn't matter. Do a song then.
Yeah.
I mean, she just wanted people to do music and to share it with people.
Well, started to see that there really wasn't. I mean, there's obviously the kind of the techno and a certain kind of vibe with, but really after a while you saw people just doing whatever the hell they wanted to do, and it was all brilliant. And for, you know, it was just cool. It was super cool. And she was, she was so not judgmental that it was almost like to the extreme that it was amazing.
Well, that's the thing, because I was doing hardware jams with a friend who moved away back in 2007, 2008, and ever since. I was always nervous about doing stuff in public and putting stuff out there. It was just my friend and I, right? And because of Inky, that's why I joined hardware jams.
Well, like I was saying to Andy earlier, you probably weren't around, but you know, it's easy to say, yeah, but she's always enthusiastic about everybody's like first jam. And I say, well, you've got to be, because if you're not, there might not be a second jam. So you've got to be enthusiastic on the first one, and then they'll get better.
Yep.
You know, so it's you have to, otherwise people will then they won't get off the starting block. You know, if their first nervous thing they upload got what's this shit, then they ain't going to do a second one. They ain't going to turn out to be amazing, are they? Because they're going to give up. So you've got to encourage people to get on.
And that's what you saw happen. People really got better and better and better.
Yeah, some people are amazing. Absolutely. She said to me before, I'm not going to name any names, but like she was saying, like, God, have they improved? They are so fucking good now. You know, when they first started, they were like, you know, but she knew there was something in them that they just needed to like persevere with it, and they end up being really, 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 really good. You know. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, she told me to send the track to what is his name? The Acid Clown?
Piero, yeah.
Piero, yeah. So I did. I scored 8.5 solid.
There you go. Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll put some on there.
Piero's also very positive. I mean, he'll tell you right up front it's not his style of music. He's very fast tempo, acidy, distorted, like crazy stuff, right?
He would find value in it, wouldn't he?
He will always find something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the funny thing, that the track what I sent him was, I mean, first of all, it's 15 years old. Second, it's more like a Massive Attack and Orbital and, I don't know, Korn together. So it's quite slow and heavy and long, 8 minutes. Still give it marks like that.
So we're gonna keep doing that.
Yeah, we should. For her, at least.
Yeah.
And for us, that's what she wants. She wants us to be happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, I used to say, hardware jams. I had a period where I was doing them pretty regularly. I had a streak. Let's put it that way. I remember being terrified I was going to break the streak, but it really did. It really taught me some new tricks, that I use even now, based on that very kind of rigorous, disciplined,
You got into your stride, weren't you? That's
Yeah.
the thing.
I'm back out, but that's okay.
You're back out again. You'll come back, mate.
I put on a few pounds, but it's nothing I can't.
I remember the first one I missed. I was bummed out because I knew Inky was going to give me a hard time, and also I didn't want to miss. It was so addictive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after a while, I'm like, I missed one. I missed another one. I had to travel. I didn't like the sample pack, whatever the thing was. So now I've missed, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7, but out of 2 years, that's about all I missed, about 6 or 7.
No, yeah,
It's fun. It's very fun.
Yeah.
It is. I know how. Yeah, but it's funny because I know there's been times when I couldn't. Let's put it this way. I always felt really safe, whatever I did, even if I was hard on what I did personally. And there was a few I couldn't watch. I never felt embarrassed.
You ran away when your stuff went on. I noticed.
Oh,
When you should your track's on, so Dave's not here.
no, but I
was
wasn't
like that.
I wasn't concerned really. I knew everyone would be, respectful, or
Lisa did that, when her track was on. She was nowhere. She was like, "Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
Bye. I'll be back in 5 minutes."
I know she literally is the one that created the whole thing, and she's still doing it. Man.
Oh, God.
Well, that's because she understood, and that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
She understood the psychology of working through that fear and being fearless, and it really did unleash a lot of creativity. I know when I really started doing them regularly, and I really was watching and studying everyone, I was just blown away. So people were just seemed like they were getting better and better. I was like, holy cow, man,
Yeah.
And it just kind of showed you it really is. I mean, we know it's kind of about, you got to practice, you got to keep, it's not like I'm going to write a song. You got to just write 50, 100 shit pieces, and something really awesome comes out,
Well, it's the same thing that filmmakers say, right? Your first 10 short films are going to be shit before you make something decent, right? So
Yeah. I think that's what some of the problem we've got with some of the people we know is they're really talented, as in they can play really well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they've got this mindset of their first track needs to be perfect. Your first track will never be perfect. It will be probably shit. Your second track might be a bit better, not so shit, and then
especially if you have a live component in there, right? That's the trick.
But some people haven't got past that point. They're still
feeling better.
Still trying to do their first track, and it needs to be perfect. You just need to do tracks, mate. They'll get better. Need to get on with it.
Yeah, and I mean, I just
That's
think
what she'd say. Like she would say, don't worry about your first track. Don't worry about your first fucking 15 tracks. It's a journey. You can only do a journey when you start walking. If you stood there, you're not going anywhere.
That's what's great about the whole hardware approach and not a DAW, where you can just spend weeks and weeks on it, massage the shit out of it, instead of just getting it done and moving on.
It's a great idea because you have 3 days to put it together.
Yeah.
Some people have like 3 hours and the show's on while it's doing it. But you have 3 days to work it out. You can't. I guess some people can cheat, but most people don't cheat. Most people go into it
Yeah.
with nothing and make a song out of nothing. And because you've only got 3 days, you can sort of say to yourself, it ain't going to be perfect. I've only got 3 fucking days to work out what I'm doing. 3 days maximum, you know. So it'll be whatever. And because it's got that sort of setting of the bar, people will approach and have a go at doing it, which is why we have so many songs and so many tracks out, because it's approachable. You can do it. You know, I've seen people doing stuff on, seeing you doing stuff on your A-frame, just an A-frame, or people come with a little one of the original pocket operators, or
Yeah, exactly.
got
Yeah,
2
pocket
volts.
operator jam. Yeah.
You know, it's whatever. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to have like the world's best kit to do it. That ain't the point. It's doing it. It's getting into
It
it.
reminds me a little bit one thing, you know, it was in 90s when it was, and I'm not sure if it was Orbital or Future Sound of London been in some radio, and then they asked them to make a song, like while being in the studio. First of all, I got no idea how they had those guys with them from the studio, because in 90s, whatever you have, it was big. And second, you know, now you got no excuse. You know, if they could do it that time and they did in half an hour, like a 5 minutes track, quite worthy. Now you got 3 days to make a track on whatever you want. You can make track on the phone without any problems.
Yeah. Well, Grace was on tour. She was on tour on a tour bus, and still found the time to get I forget what it was now, the little electron thing, cycles, little model cycles.
Model cycles, yeah.
Yeah, in between gigs on the train, in between setting up, still found the time to make a jam and film it and upload it. You know,
Who is that?
that's Grace Griffin.
Okay, I don't know that. Shame on me.
She was on earlier, but she's got busy, got long. It's like 1:30 in the morning. So,
Wow.
But you know, even if you go back to like an actual production album, like the movie soundtrack for Creepshow in '82, it's a Prophet 5 synth, a drum machine, a piano, and some effects. That's the entire album, and you hear that and the variety he gets out of that, with just a handful of instruments. That's crazy. It's
yeah, you don't
very
have to,
simple, and it's one guy. So you know,
you don't have to overcook stuff. Is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. You just need to get it down, get it out.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, regarding that, what equipment do you really need? Just, you know, as I said, the MPC for me is the number one now, but for the smaller guys and the Polish company, what's the name? Polient Play. Man, that thing is just absolutely mind blowing. Especially with the new version, the Plus, you know, when you got the stereo, some synth engines, whatever is coming from that, man, it's just sounds good, and it's so simple to use.
well,
Yeah,
the tracker's good
hopefully.
too. They make good stuff. Yeah.
The tracker is a little bit different, man. That's, you know, that's thing of my heart, because I studied on ZX Spectrum. Then I had an Amiga with Octamed, all this shit, you know. So I never opened even the manual for the tracker. I was tried away there.
There was a
But-
guy at the Vintage Computer Fair I went to a couple weekends ago doing some tracker stuff on Amiga. It's pretty funny.
Oh yeah, I've found there was a live stream of a tracker. I sent the link to Lisa, and she went, no, I don't like trackers. It's like, I won't be going to watch it. So, well, you haven't seen it yet. Give it a go. Yeah. She wasn't into trackers, which is fair enough. You can't be into everything,
Well,
can you?
There was some great video game music made with trackers. It was really
I know.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
yes.
Tempest 2000, I think, was done in
Yeah.
a tracker. That's stunning.
Alien Breed, Jesus Christ, man, what a music!
It's just a weird format to get your head around, I think. It's just really odd.
Really? I think that few sequencers work like that as well. Yamaha RM1X was typical.
Yeah, never had
Was
one.
typical tracker.
Yeah, I mean it works, but it's you need to get your head around it. It's different. You know, it's a bit like the Electron devices, the Digitact. You know, they're really good, but also really odd.
Yeah.
You know?
I would say with tracker, it's just that thing that you start to have to believe that it is that simple.
Well,
You know
even
what I
that little
mean?
the little dirty wave mate that people have, that thing does a lot. It's this tiny little box. You know?
Yeah.
Which one?
Dirty Wave M8, the mate. Yeah.
Oh, the little thing with the six buttons or
black
whatever that
thing with a
is.
screen on it. Yeah, there's a new one. Haven't they? They've made an upgraded version.
And those are expensive, aren't they? They're like a 600 quid or something.
Yeah, they're not cheap. Well, they are cheap in the big scheme of things. But
there's a cheaper version. I know. Who has one of those? It's called a headless version. I think it was Jim Glue. I think Jim Glue had the headless version, so you can get a little cheap board version. It's just pretty good.
Okay. You know, if you take in the old tracker that costs what, 300, 350? That's a funny money for things like that.
Poly-N tracker and a Poly-N tracker plus. The Poly-N tracker.
No, the tracker. No, the plus is 8 or 700 or
like
something.
900 quid.
I mean the old one.
Yeah. Yeah, the old one's about £300-ish, 350.
Imagine that, man. You got massive display. You got loads of control.
The display's huge on it, isn't it? It's like having a laptop. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like an iPad top screen, quite big.
Yeah.
So yeah, I looked. There's one in a local second-hand shop. I looked. I'm like, no, I'm not going to buy it. But almost picked it up because you know what? We've all got this. I mean, Synth Addict is out of control, but we've all got a bit of collectivitis.
Oh Jesus! Don't tell me.
Oh, this is just wallpaper. This is not real behind me. So
yeah. So your wallpaper.
This is not.
It says Martin Gore.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just last year, I mean, within 1 year, I sold maybe 20, maybe 25 pieces of kit, and I still got too many. So
sounds like me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, cut everything down just to whatever I really want to use or whatever I somehow treasure. I know that one day. Sorry,
Jim Glue was on about cutting his music equipment down to usable bits because he went head over heels into modular for a bit, but he's getting rid of it. Says it's too slow to make a song.
Yeah,
he
was definitely getting out of control. I didn't want to say anything.
the modular is not the way for me, to be honest. I got just one very small that is called Nifty Rack.
Oh yeah,
and I got then what's it called? That EOWave Quadrasynth.
Yeah,
make noise, the delay. I don't know how's it in email form, whatever that is, and marbles, and that's it. So I made an instrument for myself, which I really love, and I'm using it. But I can't imagine that. Let's say that today I'm going to use the ARP 2600 oscillator with filter from I don't know what. It's just ridiculous.
If you do the Ricky Tinez approach with like a little 64 HP case and just the essential modules to get what you need done, it's incredibly fast. And
that's what I'm saying. You may have to make something what you can use, but not.
But I like all the old timey telephone operator shit where you just let's try this. Oh, that doesn't work. Let's try this.
Oh, freebie's gone.
I have the dual Nifty case, so I've got two Nifties kind of connected, and that's my main system. Even though I am rebuilding the 2500 modules because they're so dirt cheap, I have another case. But yeah, I like to keep it pretty tight though. I like it. It's really fun to add the things and to get some cool textures and stuff. But I don't make melodies much with it anymore.
What's your thing now then, Dave? What are you doing musically? What's your goals and whatever?
Well, yeah, that's a good question.
Okay.
Well, no, I've been using my drum machine and still doing some loops, but I'm definitely trying to get the mics going and get some guitar and get some
All right. Okay.
acoustic things. I'm just having a hard time getting the
You've got a looper though, haven't you? So off you
yeah, I
go.
can do things. It's recording the guitar, the acoustic that's I'm struggling with a little bit because I don't have a good preamp. And it's kind of noisy. I just, miking things, it takes a little more discipline. And just throwing the mic up and trying to play doesn't always work real well. When you mix it with the electronic stuff, there's a lot of noise. So, but yeah, I want a little bit more acoustic.
You can do it. You can get that sorted.
Yeah. No, I know, but I do like the modular. I because it's all clocked. I will just kind of run. I got a lot of the mutable instruments, and I'll just run different textures and rhythms because I got things like the what is it, the 4MS quad clock, so I can you clock into it, and then it gives you 4 outputs, and they have a dial, almost like a where you can basically almost go audio rate all the way to triplets, and
Okay.
so basically, and then of course you can take those clocks and use them 2 or 3 places with other stuff. So anyways, but I can get a lot of cool pulses and just cool rhythms and stuff, so everything doesn't feel so stale, But yeah, modular is really cool. I like it. It's better, like Robert was saying, just kind of, and Andy, just kind of controlled a little bit when you start
Simplify it, yeah.
Yeah, because there's too many other cool things. And I will say the MPC 1 Plus, I'm really close to getting that one when money.
You've been close to buying that for about 2 years.
I've been selling stuff.
How close is close? Is it still in England and you're still in America? Is it that close? Or is it in America?
It's probably income tax return close.
Oh, okay.
Out my taxes, so we'll see what that comes out.
Well, if you have any problems trying to learn it,
well,
you can always tap me up on that.
Well, no, I know they got the beta 3 thing, so I'm kind of like, should I just jump in and learn the beta version? You know what I mean? Just scrap the 2.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Just start from
Yeah.
scratch, and then that way it won't be torn between 2 different ways of working.
They are very. It's how do you call it? They are very similar. It's just a different layout. It's not really a completely new MPC. It's an evolution or skin of 2. So what you're learning to is in 3. It's just that the visuals have changed a little bit. And
Yeah.
You just have to learn it.
Yeah, Ramsey was complaining about that because it changed some stuff significantly, and he doesn't like that. So
yeah, I know. Yeah. Lisa hated it.
but I'm thinking that, like I was saying with the mic and stuff. I mean, I think probably going straight
into an MPC. I didn't think.
Yeah, that's my point. I might get a better sound and be able to tweak it and drive it a little better, and that might actually. So I see it kind of being probably really, really functional. Plus, it's small, so I can just start tracks with it, and I think it makes a lot of sense with what I do.
It's got a lot of cool effects in it. You will love the effects. You will absolutely love the effects.
Plus, it's red, and I like things that are red. So
I'm not saying they're not all amazing, but there's so many usable effects.
Usable, that's the word. Yeah,
you can stack them, and they're really fucking cool. I've not found it really wanting, effects wise.
No,
so many good stuff in it, and some stuff, like I said earlier, I didn't even know was in it until Lisa pointed it out to me. Thinking,
yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like if I got it, and if hardware jams, if I was doing hardware jams, just spend about a couple months just using it straight, and I'd be an expert.
Into it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be an expert, but I wouldn't be what Andy is with that machine. But
did you ever get the instrument add-ons like the FM synth and all that stuff? Did you ever get that pack for it?
I've not bought any add-ons.
I haven't.
I got all
I got
of
it for
them.
the Force. It's really
You got all
good.
of them.
It's,
I got all of
yeah.
them. A nice contradiction.
I've got all of
I
them.
have bought
Yes.
nothing. I've bought all of them.
Yeah.
Because
That's where
a friend of mine was doing beta testing, man, and he just gave me some coupon
All
at the
right.
time. When it was a half price sale,
Right.
and that
Well, I got them for
coupon.
$1.99. There was a sale around Christmas a couple years ago.
Yes, but
all
man,
6
but-
of them for $1.99. It was pretty good.
Yes, but this coupon have that still.
Hmm.
So I got all of them for 100 quid.
Mental.
It's good.
Yeah, that was a
Now,
good
have I
deal.
used them much? Not really. but
Yeah,
they're
that's
nice.
about.
Yeah.
That's the question I was getting ready to ask.
But they're there. So if you want to do standalone MPC, it really is everything. It's got ARP Odyssey in there.
Well, that's
Um,
I kind of like
Minimal.
that
bunch of
idea
shit.
Juno.
Yeah. because that's what. Yeah, I like that. You can just pick it up, go upstairs, or
It's
Go- you
basically
know what I
what
mean?
the
Do some
Machina has.
mixing.
They added Machina type stuff to it, which is cool. So
and I've heard Cress's stuff, and it always sounds good. Like it's like, okay, this doesn't sound shit. You know, this thing sounds nice, man. So
You can do proper songs on it.
And regarding
yeah.
those plugins, I have to say one thing that the Juno, I'm not very big fan of Juno, but the Juno
Uh-huh.
plugin sounds absolutely amazing, man.
Yeah.
all right.
Since
is
I
that
have it,
text?
I'm using nearly all the time. It's just, you know,
Yeah,
it sounds
that was the
bloody
one
brilliant. I
plugin
think
that
it sounds
Luke-
better than the original. Or different.
But here's another problem with buying shit all the time. I have this Submarine pickup for my guitar that I just found, and I don't know how long ago I bought it. It's this
What
cool
is
little
it?
pickup. It's called Submarine. This is
Oh.
the packaging for it. Submarine. But it's this cool little thing with some dip switches on it and this little audio output on here. So you just stick this on any guitar, and it lets you do some pretty crazy stuff, like more bassy guitar and some other little tricks that I forgot about. But I forgot I bought this. I don't know, probably 3 years ago. I found it somewhere. So
Well, that's what bothers me. It doesn't bother me, but you get something like that and all these add-on software things, like what Arturia does, and it's just like, okay, I can't. Like, I just can't deal with it. It just keeps
You
going and
don't
going
need
and going.
anything on it. I mean, it's nice to have all those things, but you don't need a damn thing. They give you so much. I've not been.
I know.
Yeah. You go, oh, there's a version of this. You go, yeah. You don't need it. You really don't. If you need it, then you're just in
maybe,
a
maybe get the
state.
FM synth, because that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, but
Okay, me-
the Hype Synth has got FM in it. It's
It
got
does,
two
yeah, I know,
operator
yeah.
FM.
Yeah.
So you know, you got FM sounding sounds.
But this
in-
is
in
4
Hype.
operator. Ooh. So,
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah, Manny's here. Come on. Show some
yeah.
respect.
Oh yeah. Buy it.
oh
Definitely
yeah,
get
show
it.
some
Yeah.
respect.
Oh, Dot Synth.
Every
How
time
am I
Manny sees
doing?
my setup, he always he's like, "Oh, there's Dave's Reface DX." It's like, there's an FM synth. He must be
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly.
By the way, the FM synth on an MPC is absolutely bloody good. How is it called? I don't know, but
I forgot.
It's really good, man.
Oh yeah, no.
But they have like a string. There's a string plug-in. There's a
Yeah. There's piano.
There is everything.
piano.
now.
There's a piano thing. Yeah, it's crazy.
Although to be fair, I like the piano in the Hype Synth again. It's of the things you needed it to do, it does it. It sounds like a piano. Does it sound like the best recorded piano on the planet? No.
No,
Does it
but
work
it's
in the track?
very
Yeah.
usable.
Shut up then and get on with it. Get some music.
Yeah.
Done. I'm off again, aren't I? Sorry.
Get on with it.
You know what I mean? Though it's like it's very easy.
No, I
to,
don't.
like always looking over the hill. Oh, I can't do the thing I want to do today because I haven't got that thing that I haven't got yet, and I'll get that tomorrow. And then tomorrow, oh look, there's another hill. Oh, I'll get the thing. You know what I mean? It's like
But you
Get
can
off
also
the
always sample it. I mean, a lot of stuff I don't have immediately on the Machina Plus. I can find a contact library somewhere, or just import my own samples, and I'm good. So
Yeah, no, there's,
people won't
there's too
like
much
this.
stuff.
But when I was talking to Inky about that new Moog Muse, it's like, yeah, it's $3,000. Yeah, it's amazing. I'll just fucking find a sample pack of it. Yeah, why do I have to spend 3,000 quid? Most people who buy that synth will probably not create a single patch on it. they will maybe tweak the ADSR on it and tweak the filter.
I asked Marcus Ryle at when they announced the OBX8 at NAMM. I asked Marcus Ryle, "Hey, do you mind if I hook this in and record some little noodling and stuff?" Hey, no problem. I was there for over an hour on my little recorder. I recorded all these patches, and I've just been using those once in a while. I can't
Back
afford
in the 80s when I bought my Casio FZ1 sampler from the shop, I said to the shop, I'll be back, you know, I'm coming back because I'll purchase this sampler from you. So I'm coming back and I'm sampling your shop.
Yeah.
And let me back in and sample their
the
shop.
Guitar Center where I bought my Emacs 2, the guy let me sample the 01W, all the stuff in the area around it. They had the
drum machines. And
I sampled the whole area, and he was cool about it.
Samplers are amazing. Guess what the MPC is? It's a sampler. It can be fucking anything and everything.
And you can multi-sample in 4 layers.
Yeah. You can and you can stack samples as well. You can stack them. Well, you can stack them 4 deep as of now, and in version 3, you can stack them 8 deep.
Although that stems thing in standalone does sound kind of like ass. The computer version is much better.
Well, yeah. The stem splitter thing, yeah, true, yeah. But then again, you're dealing with a little CPU, so you know you're gonna have to cut corners somewhere.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
So you know it's better than not having it. You've got it if you need it. So if you want a better version, wait till you get back home and then plug in the software version.
It's great if you want to add artifacts to stuff.
The thing I didn't realize was like people saying, "Oh yeah, the standalone version of the stem splitter is not very good. Use what they call it. Use Koala on iPad." And then I went to a channel that actually was trying out the stem splitter on Koala on iPad. That's also shit, by the way.
Yeah,
that's as shit.
It's only a little bit better than the MPC.
When I say shit, it's not shit. It's not what you would expect from a desktop. Yeah.
No.
Yes, it does stem splitting, but it is as competent as the stem splitter on the standalone version of the MPC. So you know you can rag on anything, but you know how much money? How much is it for one? It's $9. Oh God. What are we going to do?
There are also some free ones online that are pretty good too.
Yeah.
There is some hardware which got the compatibility with Koala, no? After the newest firmware, I just can't remember which one. Isn't it SP404?
I'm still using the old Koala. The new interface, I haven't used it.
I never used that thing at all.
It's a great sampler, but they totally revamped the interface. A lot of people complain about it because they're trying to steal the MPC thunder, right?
Well, the Koala interface now interfaces with the SP404. They actually link together. You can use them. Oh. Yeah. You can use the pads on the SP404 to run the Koala synth.
Mine's so far behind, I can't do that. So.
Yeah, you know, it's like it's cool. It's available and whatever. It's like it's options, isn't it? So again, it's options, and it's not ridiculous money. So
I mean, even that little app that Andrew Wong made with that guy. Have you seen that?
No.
What's it called?
Tempera.
No, it's an iOS app.
Oh, sorry. His app. Yeah, that's
Flip.
cool.
It's called Flip.
Yeah.
It's good. But Koala's more fun, I think.
I mean, the one thing is, I get really after a while. I've got to learn something because I just can't. There's so many things, and I feel like I start bouncing around so much. I don't get to that spot where I can just really.
You don't want to get whiplash when you go into the room and go.
I mean, modular is the perfect example of that, right? You just stare at the module and you're like, what was that again? And, and it's not inspiring then because then you're just studying it. And you're like, and I kind of like to play on the fly with things. So I like to have 4 or 5 things they can do that I know.
The trick I found with modular is I had to basically every once in a while take like an hour or 2 and just play with that one module. Yeah. Don't make any music. Just screw around with it, figure it out, and then go to another one if you have time, or just keep revisiting a module, and then you don't have to think once you've learned it. It helps a little bit. So. Yeah,
it definitely helps. I mean, unless you're doing modular all the time, it definitely helps to try to kind of focus your setup. But I I know a lot of modular people, and it's pretty shocking how much they're buying and selling.
Oh, yeah.
It's really,
Yeah.
or you just
It's
have the
as they
ones that
call it,
don't
it's like a
sell.
crack cocaine thing, isn't it?
Well, it's the big
Oh,
wall
yeah.
of stuff too. That doesn't appeal to me. I want something portable so I can go to an EMOM or something like that with it. But
Yeah.
the giant wall is just like it's crazy. Yeah.
But I mean, they're a good resource when I'll say a module. They're like, oh yeah, and they can talk about it, tell me, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. I mean, it's hard not. It's such a fascinating. There's so much out there, it's hard not to go down the rabbit hole, once you start, because
That's why I
there
don't want
is
to
so
start.
much available, and there's
Yeah.
there's so many different. It's like it's infinite what you can do after a while, But
It depends what your approach is to doing music. If you're into experimenting in sound design, or if you want to make tracks, it depends what your goals are.
Well, there's some very, very boring modules that are just aimed at making music, so you don't have to get
Yeah.
too crazy with them, and you can just do it. So,
I mean, there's some of the ones that what's the word I'm looking, like the quantizer kind of sequencer modules. Some of them could create some really interesting. I usually call them counter melodies because they're usually not the dominant melody, but they'll kind of throw out something. I'm like, oh, that's. And,
it
and
can
then
also
you just
screw up
kind
a
of,
lot too. Mine were screwing up on my Hardware Jam Fest thing. It's like, oh, these notes are jumping around. I don't have time to redo it. Oh well, it is what it is.
yeah, but
I
they,
think
but
we-
go ahead.
I think that modular is one thing that I learned recently because I wanted something so badly, and that was the new Pittsburgh modular that, how's it called, that Voltage Lab 2.
Oh yeah,
It's just amazing,
I want the
man.
Voltage Lab 1.
It's just,
Richard did a stream the other day with that. He did a live stream with it. It was amazing.
Yeah, you can do absolutely. You can tune it to micro nuances, whatever you want to achieve, and that the sequencer, all of that. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. And the generative things and and blah 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 blah. And I want it so badly, man. But in the end, I realized that the difference compared to Tega is not that massive regarding the sound. That micro the micro tuning of the sounds is not really what I am after. It's not
Right.
really what I really need. Or if I will use it, nobody in the world, even the guys from the Pittsburgh Modular, will ever guess that it wasn't done on a Voltage Lab 2, but it was done on Tiger. And regarding the generative things, I got Torso T1, and that is bloody computer, man. That thing is.
Do you like that thing? It looks interesting.
Yes, I do. It's difficult
What is
to understand it. It's very. You have to use it, to get used to it. To be honest, I mean, it's not like
it's generative, right? It's very generative. Yeah.
It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But the thing is that it's not like you switch it on and you know what to do with it. You have to spend time with it, of course. It's not easy to grasp, but when you start to use it the way you can, or basically what was intended to, then it can spit out absolutely amazing things. And if you use in the wrong way, then is the best thing how to do it. So in the end, I saved 2K not to buy in Voltage Lab 2, but try to use a little bit better whatever I already have. And I'm happy with the concept, and I'm happy with whatever I can do with those things. So, and that's the to translate it to Eurorack. The Voltage Lab is amazing, but it's much more complicated than Tega. But I do whatever I want to do with Tega anyway. And now I cannot imagine that I will come home, to the wall of that modules, man, and just trying to do something out of that, man. It would just take 4 weeks to achieve what I can do straight away with one little thing on the desktop. And even Matt Hudson, from Sonic State, he was saying lately, if I remember rightly, that he's probably thinking of, just do extremely simple setup, 3-4 kits and do things absolutely extremely straight way just with that, and abandon the idea of Eurag or having so much of the modules, things like that. On that note, I want to see Gus Williams to do something like that.
Well, but
Just percons and bass and go bass.
but it was kind of ironic because when Matt did that whole wall, right? Matt's, I think that's
Yeah.
He had a wall full of Euro rack, didn't he?
Yeah, but he did that, put it on the wall, and I just thought it was so brilliant. You know what I mean? I was like, this is just amazing. And then within a year or two, he's like, it's all off. I think he took it down, and I was like, see, this is it. This is the problem. Like he conceived of this brilliant thing, and I'm not judging him. I'm just as someone watching, and I was like, you went to all that effort, and you had this cool instrument, and you were jamming, and you just couldn't be happy with it. You know what I mean? Or it just didn't. And it was kind of a letdown in a way for me, because I was like, oh, I really enjoyed watching that, and he had, but that's kind of the trap, I think, of it. But I don't know, like, I think some of us came from right on piano, whether we were good or not, in guitar sketching. And I still feel like I use my hands to make the melodies, right? To create the space. I have to create it myself, right? I have to. So when I approach a modular, that's why I said I can't use it as the dominant piece, because it's got such a mind of
you're
its
sort
own.
of disconnected from it, aren't you? You're not part of the music making process, really. You're tweaking connections and stuff.
You can jam with it though, and it's quite capable of making some amazing. As an ensemble piece, it's amazing. It can be, right? If you get, sometimes I feel like it's luck, but I think it's probably.
David, this is your next purchase, the Philips PMC 100. You got to get one of these with a cassette.
Oh,
2-operator FM.
Screwdriver. Oh yeah, operator. Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, honestly, the best thing I still have is my Zoom multi-tracker. That is my desert island, right? That's
Yeah.
I just have to have that.
Is that the L?
And whatever
L20?
I have, it has that. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it the L20?
Yeah, L12.
L12. Sorry.
I wouldn't mind an L14 or an L16. I'm always open to a couple more tracks, but just generally speaking, I just understand it, and where people see limitations, like, oh, you can only do one effects, it's become where it's like, yeah, but that's my glue. Like,
yeah,
I can.
It's not my KO2, right? Only does one effect, and it hasn't got sends. It has got a send, but it's got send only for groups, not for individual pads. So you have to go, oh, okay, so that won't work then. So you have to think differently.
Well, yeah, you create submixers, and a lot of it, like the drums, I have a little submixer now, and that I can run sends through, but there are limitations. There's no doubt about it, right?
But,
there are
you
times,
record each layer with the effect, and you can turn it off and use it for another layer, right? So
yeah,
that's the 505. It only has 5 tracks, but it also has like one effect at a time. I think they added a feature in the newer OS. You can do 2 effects, but for a long time it was only 1 effect at a time. But you're looping and layering anyway, so you record it with the effect. And then
you have to like burn the effect in, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which I've been doing my whole life, so it's just I've done it. You know what I mean? It's just it feels it's. Now I will say that what's really cool about it and all the modern stuff is that you can just pull the SD card. You don't have to like.
His voice is broke up.
Oh.
You got choppy there.
Yeah, you're going a bit choppy, Dave.
I'm going to come back.
Okay.
Chop,
Check.
chop,
Yeah, my
chop.
back.
Looking for the good
Oh,
time.
chop. Chop. I don't want chop. No chop. My
Chop
chopping.
Saki.
Yeah, okay. You carry on, mate.
Stop talking. No, I was gonna say that
You're good.
I had a friend recently that wanted to remix one of the things off of the live track, but the stems he got didn't have the effects, right?
Ah, right.
Because the steps, the effects get if you mix down, the effects get burnt on, right? But
Yeah.
if you just send the stems, they don't have them. Well, he kept going. I don't know what you did, but I can't get the sound you got, And I was thinking, yeah, it's because I had the delays going and I had them all mixed differently depending on the track. And there's a good chance that I might have even been moving knobs while I was doing it. So it's just impossible to.
Yeah.
You can't but the other point is that if you really want to do more, then either take that stem and put it on another mix down, stem. So
I'll be back again. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up because it's but you get the point, right?
I do get the point.
You get the
The other thing I've
carry
found if you're doing songs, I mean, I've not done this for a while because everything that I've bought I still have. But back in the old days, you'd have like or whatever. Like I had a Casio VZ1 synth, and thinking, oh, it's pretty cool, whatever. And you doing several tracks, you think, I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to get a better synth. So you go out and buy something much better, and then you try and run the same track with your new piece of kit. It sounds shit. You can't get your inferior patch that you used to use on your old synth to sound good on your new synth because it doesn't play the same. It plays differently. It won't work. So I've learnt my lesson of like, don't sell your stuff if you can help it.
Oh, it's impossible.
Even though you don't use it
Yeah,
a
it's
lot,
impossible.
you
You'll
might
never get
fucking
the-
want it.
Yeah.
So I tend to hang on to stuff. Hence, me moaning at Inky saying like she's got too much stuff, and he says, "How much stuff you got?" So I've got a couple of things. He says, "How much stuff have you got?" So I actually counted it up. It's 29 things, 29 bits of music kit, synthesizers and stuff. So yeah, okay, I'm as bad as you then.
Did she use most of what she had, right? Or did she have a lot that was not on camera?
She used a lot of what she had. I mean, some stuff I looked in some. She used to share pictures and stuff with me and whatever. I went, what's that in the cut? Is that? Have you got a TD3? Oh yeah. So, I've never seen you use that. Oh yeah, someone. I think
I did use it a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah. Bit like me and my Blofeld. I've got a Blofeld. I've used it on one track so far. I've had it 14 years.
I love the Blofeld, but that encoder issue is annoying. The jumpy encoders. So.
No, my encoders are perfect. Well, it's hardly used. It's bound to be perfect, isn't it? But yeah, crazy. Yeah. But a lot of people have a lot of stuff. It depends on what you're doing, doesn't it? And like I say, if you can afford to, don't get rid of your stuff because you might find that the thing that you thought was ish is actually perfect. And, which is why I do a lot of my stuff in the MPC because I know it's all in there, sort of thing.
Gentlemen, I will have to crash because I'm waking up in the morning.
Okay, mate.
Thank you for setting up this. It was
Thanks,
really,
thanks for coming by.
Thanks
it
for
was
the
really
chat.
good relief and stay strong. Like my beer.
Yeah.
Have a good
Thanks
one, gentlemen.
for
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh, he got bumped.
Uh-oh.
He bumped himself.
Yeah, the signal was not good.
David, yeah, he'll be back in a minute probably. But yeah, hey Andrew, thanks for putting this up.
Hey, no worries. I figured it would come in handy, just in general. Right, I haven't done one for a while, and also people want to, share stories and.
I've been crying most of the day.
Yeah, I know.
Been rubbish.
But give you some positive thoughts and all that.
Oh, you just sat there. I've just been sat there reading all the comments, crying. So
yeah. Well, that's why I wanted to do this, especially because I saw comments all over, just this huge flow of comments. I'm like, oh, it's good to get people on here and trying to make things a little bit.
And she would want people to, carry on and be positive and, whatever.
Well, it's like that's what I would like, right? I mean, I like I'm only part Irish, but I like the Irish wake idea, where it's like, have a good time, party, drink, don't be so sad, just go forward. Although it's hard not to be sad, but be less sad.
It is very sad, but
celebrate,
yeah,
the good things, all the good stuff,
Don't let it go to waste.
Oh, there I am.
Hello.
Hold on.
She's back. You're all right.
That's terrifying. Oh, there we go. That's better. Here's my face.
Mate,
father's
it's not
face.
terrifying as me, so calm down. There's degrees
likes to
of
look at them.
terrifying.
It's hard. Nobody likes looking at themselves. It's one of those weird things, except Trump. But sorry. I didn't say that.
Oh, don't be sorry. He's a fucking asshole. So.
No, I don't want to go there. But,
I will. Don't worry about it.
Well, I do,
will.
but not right now. Not right now.
That's one of the things that me and Inky sorted out straight away. I said to her, "We are not You've got your politics. I've got my politics. We are not going to be talking about politics because we don't need the arguments. So we never do talk about politics."
Right.
Yeah. No. It's I love the intellectual side of it, but I appreciate that it's hard for some people to stay.
I just want to be friendly with them. I don't want to divide with stupid. Not saying they're stupid, but the world's a bit bigger than that. People just could be nice to each other. Let's just be nice to each other.
Well, that's the thing, and this, people always throw that word woke around like it's a shitty thing or a bad thing. How about it's called empathy? Right. At a certain level, it's about empathy, and that's not a bad thing. So,
well, the politicians did it. Let's be honest. The politicians manipulated a significant amount of people to instill hatred, to get that visceral reaction that they need to get the votes.
I mean, he has everyone convinced the crime is up in this country. It is down. It was higher in his presidency than it is now. But he's trying to convince everybody that crime is up, and it's not.
Well,
it's just lies, right?
Well, but in the end, all parties are guilty of manipulation to different degrees.
No party is great. I hate them all. That's why I'm unregistered.
I just enjoy I love the strategy. Like I would love to work for a political party. Like that would be fun for me, right? But I also respect that it's not fun for a lot of people. So, so I leave it at that, right? Just like a lot of people don't want to talk about modular or synthesizers. And most people don't want to talk about synthesizers. The majority, the vast majority of people.
Most people don't know what a synthesizer is. One of my old girlfriends, Karen. She says like, "Why have you got so many organs?" It's like, mate, they're synthesizers. They're not fucking organs. They ain't got any organs. I've got one.
There's one special organ. Yeah,
exactly. I got one organ, which you might be playing later, but whatever.
But then you're like, but I like organs, and there's a few organs I would like to have, but none of these are organs. So, no, that's not what's happening here. No, and they don't have time to learn, right? It's just you don't have time to teach them or explain it. It's just kind of like, it's just something I do. It's just kind of
People think like musicians or pop stars. They come from the planet Mars or something. They're not real people. They're like these they're those people over there with a special gifting that we don't know about.
It's not a special gift.
I know it ain't. Well, we know it ain't because we haven't got it.
I know. But that's the thing that drives you crazy because I used to get mad at that. I'm like, stop acting like it's some special gift. It's like it's an unbelievable amount of time I put into this, like absurd, like.
Yeah, but some people are
just savants, to be average.
They just come out with no effort and they just bang it out. So,
Yeah, but you know what? Not if they get them on a guitar. Maybe with some electronic equipment they'll manipulate it, but
I mean, I don't know his history that well, but I bet Eddie Van Halen was always probably pretty damn good on the guitar.
no, those kids were trained. They were
Yeah.
trained musicians.
Or Steve
very
Vai or
skilled.
one of those guys, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about that era of guitarists. They were all music theory geeks. They were, you know what I mean? They all took lessons. It was us that came later, the post punk and the new wavers and all them. I got it. Thanks. We were the ones that didn't really take our lessons too seriously. We were just like, we're just gonna make some cool art music. And sorry,
I
my
just
kettle's going.
bought stuff.
Woo! A lot of us
That's a
started
Foley.
writing music before we even knew what the hell.
Some ASMR and Foley stuff.
Yeah,
There.
so- My kettle, my tea kettle. I
I'm gonna
forget
say it
about
sounds
once
like a
every.
kettle.
4
I
or
thought
5
Americans
times.
don't have kettles. There's sort of like a. Why have you got a kettle?
Well, they
You
call
have
it
tea?
teapot or something like that.
Well,
Yeah, something- yeah.
Teapot. Is that what it is? The whistles.
Yeah.
What is that?
Kettle. That's a kettle. If you're
Yeah,
boiling
people-
water,
I love
Yeah.
tea. I
there you go.
can't
You're
have no.
part English then, or Indian or Chinese or whatever. I don't know.
I can tell you based on my not Chinese, but yeah. Oh no, I love tea, but yeah, those cats, because that's growing up there was the ones that were serious about. They were the guitar players, like the serious shredders, and that's all they did was just try to shred all the time.
Yeah,
You know.
then
And then you got-
cheese.
And that was cool.
Then you got Jordan Rudess as the keyboard shredder. So.
Yeah.
God,
I know. Oh
find
yeah,
him
he is.
a bit like I think Jordan Rudess and what's the guitar player? Ingrid Malmsteen.
Ingrid Malmsteen, yeah.
Inky,
Incredibly boring to
I
watch.
used to love.
400 notes a second.
He had a couple. Yeah.
Boring.
Well, Malmsteen had a couple cool tunes. I mean, I enjoyed it a little bit, but it wasn't like when I heard Joy Division for the first time. Let me just put it to you that way. It
I
was
love
like,
television.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I grew up a lot of that metal stuff, and it was cool. And then
Such
then
good
someone
riff.
turned. Yeah,
Such good riffs.
yeah.
Got amazing
Well, they
riffs.
just. Oh yeah. No.
My favorite Malmsteen is the shred video with the Japanese orchestra. That's the funniest thing ever. So
He had a
guys haven't
song
seen
or
that.
two that I really don't. Yeah, it's like well, I was supposed to be able to play drums so that I could play like with them, with those kind of people, and I was like, I just can't do this shit. Like, I'm not like this is the wrong gig for me. Like, what else is out there, And then I found the people into all the English, the cool English rock, and that kind of changed life for the better, for sure. No more hair metal.
Well, it's funny how everything went back and forth across the pond, right? So the blues made the Beatles do their thing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and then back over here, the Beatles came and drove everyone crazy, and then it's back and forth, back and forth. It's wild.
Well, we were real. Yeah, we had the original rock, right? That was that, the blues feel, and that was great.
Rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then we just went to shit in the 80s, and we really forgot how to rock. Other than like the cheesy metal stuff, but it just kind of. I mean, I enjoyed some of it, like everyone, but it didn't.
I didn't
age
like the
well.
glam stuff. I didn't like the
Yeah.
God, who I can't remember the name of the bands.
Poison?
Kiss, the other ones. I know what you mean by hair metal. Yeah.
Like
I
the metal,
like,
Motley Crue. Motley Crue had a little glam early on. Poison
Yeah.
had a little bit of glam. Just a touch,
But you also had Def Leppard, which was like much better.
yeah,
Well, they were pop. They were very poppy. They had some-
yeah, they
Yeah.
were very
Yeah.
sophisticated. Kind of,
Yeah.
their pop got really,
Yeah.
really,
But then they had songs like Armageddon. It. All right. Yeah.
I know. See, that's the problem. And that's the stuff that I had to walk away. I was like, this is it's too ignorant. Like I can't deal with this.
But Pyromania was a great album.
Yeah, that was the one I had. That's one of the ones I learned to play drums to. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I had my brother's drum kit, and I had the turntable behind me.
And that was before the one-armed drummer, right? That was the more complex pattern.
Well, yeah, that was right before he heard it right after that. And but I would put the headphones on, right, blast the album, and play to it. But even then, I wouldn't play it exactly. I wouldn't really listen to what they were playing. I just listened to the feel, and I just jammed.
That was with Thomas Dolby, wasn't it? Thomas Dolby was in the recording of that band. I think he was running the Fairlight.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dolby it's weird. You know, he had that whole period where he was
a very busy chap.
Yeah, I remember he had the Lena Loveck stuff, and because I loved her too, and I got to see her live, and she was just out of control. Cool.
She's funny because she was like late 70s, and it was basically new wave, but it was late 70s. It was like way ahead of the curve. You know?
Sorry,
yeah, but the goth kids, the
goth
goth kids picked her up, and she was so underground, like nobody knew. But I remember we played a show in New York, and she headlined it, and I got to meet her real quickly, but I got to watch her play with the theremin player, and I was just like, man, that's the cool thing about as you start to grow up, and then you get exposed to those things, and you're just like, where did this happen? Where did this come from? Like this is I didn't know this was out there. You know, there's like this cool theremin going, and she's just like doing her thing, and I'm like, this is cool. And then you go back and you find out Dolby Dolby crafted some songs with her, and there's a whole history, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is just, you know, in the United States, that's just not, you can't find her, you know, that name doesn't exist, you know, which is sad, but it was like that for a lot of bands. I mean, you know, people know who Joy Division.
Are you making burgers?
Why? Oh, yeah.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
And that's me tapping.
Oh, okay.
Making beats, making burgers.
Burger beat.
Burger beat.
Does
it sound like you're smacking meat there?
That sounds bad. Yeah, there we go. Oh my God. Don't sample that, whatever.
Yeah. I am definitely not smacking meat.
Ground meat.
Okay, here I'm gonna have to prove this. All right, look.
Parental guidance.
It's no smacking meat. You're making my face like laughing. It's no meat smacking. All right, it's just me sitting here.
Okay.
Oh, you're out in the garage.
I mean, you're perfectly entitled to do that. So
yeah, of course I am. Absolutely. It goes without saying.
Yeah.
It just came out of left field. I wasn't ready for that.
So you're going to get back into doing some music. You just need to work out how to do it with guitars and stuff. That's your route back in, is it?
Probably. Yeah, I've been jamming some. Yeah, I wrote a couple. I've got so I have another compilation. I got another compilation. So I finally kind of got myself going again on that.
When's your deadline on that, by the way?
Oh, probably. What is it now? Probably early September. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I might be able to do something. We'll see.
You could do whatever, you know. When I say drone, I just mean it needs a root note, maybe, that drones. It doesn't need to, you know. Andy, you can do one too, man. But
oh, you're doing a compilation thing?
Yeah, this one's called Drones, so it makes it pretty easy. Yeah, so
come up with.
Yeah, and I usually make a CD. That's my big thing. So if I put something out,
sending the CD, by the way, appreciate it.
Oh yeah, good,
really
good,
cool.
Good. Yeah, it's everybody. That's my shtick. So if I do one, I always try to give everybody, you know, something.
When you say drone, is it all over the map, or is it like more like sparse drone, or crazy mixed drone, or? Uh-oh,
you know, 10 minutes. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, you can do whatever. Because, hold on. Yeah, it's pretty loose. In interpretation.
It is, because honestly, the last CD was all instrumental music, and I put a song on it. So you know, hey ho.
Yeah, but it really worked. And one of the guys that I met, and I kind of like, it's kind of like just a grab bag of people, you know, like, oh yeah. And then One of them did a acoustic bass piece or something, or maybe
Yeah.
it was guitar, but it was cool. It was nice. And then you sang, and so I'll probably do what I was trying to say. I was
You're breaking up again, by the way.
You sound like Meg's Headroom.
We had this. I
Then
had
you
this
got to
with,
kind of make everything kind of work.
Oh.
You know.
We heard part of that. You did a Max Headroom thing for a little bit.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I lost him again.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Am I back? We lose me?
Yeah.
Let me get back to
it.
it.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Check.
Yeah,
I don't hear any,
yeah.
and
So
I don't hear any
check.
more meat smacking. I think you're okay. So
Yeah.
We had
no,
this the other day. Me and Lisa when we were having a Facebook chat, and her voice kept breaking up, and says, "What is going?" She kept moving her phone, and I was like, "No, you're still breaking up, mate." It's like I'm getting like every other word. It's really hard work. She went, "Oh, sorry. I'm actually uploading someone's set for the hardware festival at the same time trying to talk to you." Well,
yeah.
ain't going to work then, is it? So, I'll talk to you later. And then we never got to talk to her again. So that was a bit of a shit, but whatever.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But she was on it. She had people who were doing really late submissions, and she wanted to include them.
She was giving me a hard time because I almost forgot to do it. I'm like, oh shit, hold on. And then she goes, hurry up. And then I got it in, and then we were laughing because she goes, I still didn't get mine in yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I said to her like I can't remember on Saturday night or something like that. Have you finished your set yet? She just gave me a big smile back as a emoji. It's like, yeah, you're still working on it, and it's not quite done yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, sorry, that was Friday. That was Friday night, not Saturday night. That was Friday.
Because she was supposed to be done by Thursday night with everything, and I knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
People were sending so late,
Well, she still wanted to include them all.
Yeah, that's her nature, right? That's not surprising.
Not at all.
Because part of the problem is they were trying to sort them by stuff that fit together.
Yeah, I know.
So by having a Thursday night, they could sit there and quickly listen to all of them and see what fit.
See what works next week.
Yeah.
This is shit. US Bank, what the fuck do they want? My mail. You get the mail and like it's almost all shit. It's just unbelievable.
Mail's
I
usually
never get any female. It's always male. Annoying, isn't it?
Yeah. But
ordering from the right place.
Yeah.
Always from this bloke called Bill. Don't know why.
Yeah.
It was like an old Steve Martin routine where he was talking to this guy in the ski lift, and he thought he was a really nice guy. His name was Rental. Because it's on the skis.
So crap, I'm laughing.
What the fuck?
Steve Martin was great. I don't know if you ever listened to his old bits before he got into acting, but his old comedy tapes and stuff were very, very, very funny.
Yeah, I remember a little bit of it. Fuck, I gotta get
Just
this
outrageous
charger,
stuff.
man. Wild and crazy guy.
Yeah, even before that. I mean, he just did some crazy fun albums.
I believe it, man.
Some absurdist stuff. You never know what he was going to do. It's fun. But then he pull out the banjo once in a while, do some banjo stuff. And
yeah, that's what I know. It's just so ridiculously talented.
Yeah. But
a lot of these comedians are.
Like one of his routines was it's called What I Believe. What I Believe. He goes, play some horn stuff. And he goes, I believe in rainbows and puppy dogs and fairy tales and all this like nice stuff, right? And then at the end he goes, I believe you should put a woman on a pedestal high enough so you can look up her dress. So jokes you can't make nowadays, right? So.
Nah, you can't pull that off too much. You might be able to, but it's not going to be easy. He's funny, though. He looks the same age. He's always looked the same age. It's really
smart guy, too. I mean,
Oh
just-
yeah.
yeah,
Most comedians are. They're usually pretty sharp. They're really
yeah,
observant, and
yeah.
can.
Because he did so much wacky stuff, people thought he's just some goofy dumb guy, right? But he's really smart, actually. It's like the Monty Python guys doing those just wacky as shit, but they're incredibly smart. You know.
Even Jim Carrey's kind of like that. You hear him? He's pretty
Oh,
intense.
he went off
guy.
the deep end though. Jim Carrey got a little weird though.
Well, he is. He's well, but that's always where he's at,
Conspiracy
right?
theories and a bunch of other stuff. He's
Has he gone into the conspiracies? Oh,
yeah,
yeah, that's
he's
too
one of those
bad.
guys.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Their brains are kind of
Well, he was with Jenny McCarthy, and she had that whole like anti-vax autism bullshit, right?
Okay, yeah, I can't.
I
I can't.
think he fed
process.
into that. So
Yeah, I know. I have friends like that, and it's just it's a personality type a lot of times too. Unfortunately, they can be very smart, but they're
their brains are like clay; they're very malleable.
yeah, it makes them can make them brilliant at times, and other times you're kind of like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're getting out there. It's good for music making sometimes. They can make some cool stuff.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, creatively they can be a lot of fun. I had a buddy like that. We could just sit together and just jam and create some really cool stuff. Be like, wow, man.
Well, look at Frank Zappa. He was really smart, but he was wacky too. He made some crazy ass music, right?
Yeah, he did. It was almost too much for me. Maybe it just like I couldn't. It wasn't enjoyable for me to listen to. Like it was stressful to listen to. And
But
it's
he was
not,
like way into the synclavier. He made like all this crazy shit with this crazy.
no,
synth
it's
and-
it's like I
it's
said, a lot of
wild.
times
Yes,
a lot of times I can hear why people like it, but I also know why I can't enjoy it. I go, yeah, no, that's not something I would enjoy listening to.
You got to stick with one of his classics. It's called "Titties and Beer." It's a very funny song.
Yeah, no, he's got a few of them. Yeah,
And "Don't Eat the Yellow Snow" and all that stuff.
yeah, no, he was obviously really brilliant, kind of. But unfortunately, he was also part of that arrogant '70s kind of attitude where everything was like, if the bar wasn't like super high, and you know what I mean, if you weren't pushing everything, you were a waste, right? If you weren't progressive in your music, you were a waste.
However, then he made Valley Girl with his daughter. So I mean,
Oh, I know, but
so
yeah, but he had it out for that, I'm sure, but
yeah.
because it was his daughter. But he had that attitude, and that was kind of that attitude permeated. That destroyed a lot of really creative people's, inspiration by just beating them down because they couldn't, understand all these multiple theories and.
Well, like Rick Beato does that to a certain extent. I like a lot of his stuff, but he is an old man on the lawn yelling at the sky. It's a lot of the stuff he criticizes. I kind of agree with him. I'm not, some of the modern music stuff I'm not that into so much, but it can get a little too much at times.
But we're all old men here, so
Well, exactly. But I mean, let people have their whatever, and
But
see
what
you
is
like in there.
Yeah, but he can't. The thing is, nowadays, it's not like you got the top 40 or something, Casey Kasem's top 40 or whatever, which was an old thing here in the States. But the point is, we're not all apples to apples. Like whatever he's talking about, I don't know what he's talking about.
But like even something simple like Taylor Swift, it's very bubblegum. It's very simple. She has talent, but just the output is very bubblegum.
Well, but have you heard like that recent one she just did with that one collab she did with that guy, and it's very dark, and it's she's got layers to her, but it is pop. It's pop, but she has more layers than people give credit, way more. But it's no point. Like she's a solo artist, so a solo artist. I mean, how many? Even when bands got together and the solo artist made an album, how often was it as good as the band's album? Is very that I remember.
Hey, come on, man! Those Kiss solo albums were the best thing ever.
The collectible, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Actually, the Back in the New York Groove with Ace Frehley, that was a pretty good little track. I like that.
No, but again, yeah, you can get some gems on them, but God, I remember
I hated Kiss to be honest, but I just joked because
No,
remember
that
a
was
friend
funny.
had that. I borrowed
That was
those
the
albums from a
extreme of
friend.
it.
I go, these are terrible. You know.
No, it's a perfect. I remember the guy from the Killers did a solo album. That singer, he's a really good singer. Well, he's a
Yeah.
decent singer, and I listened to it. It was unlistenable. It was so
Yeah.
bad. He had one song that was kind of they pushed on the radio, and it was. I see why they pushed it, because it was the only thing that had any sort of, you know, melody, you know, and everything else was so bad, you know. And it's like, well, I mean, Sting did it right.
Well,
Sting
did you
had his
see?
whole career.
Did you
No
ever see the
offense to
Smashing
Sting fans.
Pumpkins? You know, Billy Corgan did his thing where he bought a coffee shop and he put a giant modular in there, and he used to do live modular
I heard
jams
about
in
it.
there. And it's some of the worst stuff you've ever heard. And it's like, you're Smashing Pumpkins. You have talent. You could play. I don't like his voice, but he can. You know, some of the songs are great.
Well, yeah, a couple of
But,
those
but then
songs
this
were-
modular stuff is like, holy shit. And he's like forcing his patrons to listen to him noodle on his things.
So that's my point. Like, so when Rick Beato, whatever, like, I've always said this, you know, that I think the biggest thing that's, if anything is destroying music, and I don't feel like music's destroyed at all. It's just that
Well, you
we've
can just,
pulled
it's like
away from-
movies. You can go back to the old stuff. You don't like the new stuff? Go back to the old stuff. You know?
But it's mainly because we're not doing bands as much. There's still bands out there, but we're not. So yeah, I mean, so you sure get on Taylor Swift, but put Taylor Swift in with 3 other really great musicians and kind of sell her down a little bit, and I bet it sounds great. You know, a little bit more interesting, more
Talking
complex.
of solo stuff,
But
all the
she
hardware.
but
Because
she's-
talking of solo stuff, all the hardware jams is mainly solos, isn't it?
Mhm.
It's one person in their kit.
Yeah, and it's just, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I'm beyond the point of like even getting into that kind of critique. I don't see the
Music's very
point.
fractured these days. Anyway, it's so many.
That's my point. That's
variants.
my point. Yeah.
There's because in the when we were all young-ish, in the 80s and 90s, well, 80s mainly, probably 90s a bit.
80s.
We had more
yeah.
focus. We had a thing to look at, which would be the top 40 countdown, and you know,
Yeah, that's my point. And
you'd have a
and-
selection of people that you would know about.
and
There's
the best
so
musicians.
so many artists out these days. I ain't got a fucking clue who most of them are. And that's been
And
like the last 24 years. I don't know most people.
Exactly.
And I mean, and the best musicians recruited the other best musicians in the area, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even
they-
Ringo Starr he had his own band, you know. They
Yeah.
recruited him. They said,
did.
"Look at that cat." They
Yeah,
go,
he's
"That guy."
way better than whatever his name was.
Yeah,
I watched
know.
a
Poor
video
guy.
the other day.
The other guy.
Pete Best.
Pete Best,
yeah.
the fifth Beatle. Yeah.
But the irony is, people still like make fun of Ringo, and I go, "Yeah, but they
He
picked
had
him because
something
he
though, didn't
was."
He had something.
Yeah. They just it's just a analytic. It doesn't. It's irrelevant conversation, but it is fun to have. But my point is that nowadays Ringo Starr would be doing his solo stuff, right, on Hardware Jams,
Yeah.
or something. He wouldn't be in a Beatles, you know.
Part of the thing comes from, like, if you're a hardcore jazz or classical person, like I grew up loving classical music, so there's something about the structure and the musicianship and all that kind of stuff that kind of gets baked into you. And even if you can't do it, you strive to do that, and you want to hear it in other people. And when they say, fuck it, I'm doing something totally wild, or they just can't do it, it can get annoying if you're really into that stuff. You know, I could see why people get annoyed.
Yeah, no, I do too, and that's where we start to get self-conscious, right?
Kind of like the Olympics. Did you see Ray Gun?
Kind of like the Olympics.
The break dancer. Did you see that break dance from Australia called Ray Gun?
No.
Yeah.
She fucked that whole competition. She came with her own weird custom moves, had nothing to do with breakdancing. She's a PhD, published author in breakdancing culture, right? So it's just this white lady. It's that cultural appropriation, right? And she loves hip hop culture supposedly and breakdancing. She passed I don't know how she passed the Australian test to get into the competition. for the Olympics. But go look up Ray Gunn on YouTube if you can find clips because they're blocking.
Yeah,
some
she's
of it.
hilarious.
She's terrible, and it's almost like, are you trolling? Is this performance art? What is this? And it's just.
But she's
awful.
on the news. She's a meme.
Oh, I know exactly, yeah. But it's not breakdancing. It is a travesty, but in a really funny way, right?
It's entertaining still because you want to watch
Yeah,
it
but
and you're
it's-
on the laugh.
Anyone who's a breakdancer who follows that stuff, it's like if you went to do karate and you did judo instead, that's not fucking karate, right? You have to follow certain rules to do a certain thing, especially in a sport, right?
Well, but you are getting into the gatekeepers, right? The argument for gatekeepers and music,
True,
right?
But the
I'm
gatekeepers
not
are
saying
the
you're wrong.
breakdancers. They're the
I'm just
judges. She got 0
Okay.
points out of 3 attempts at performing.
Well, good. So the gatekeepers won.
Well, they didn't because she was on the news and
Yeah,
everybody
she
knows
got
that.
the most publicity. The people who won actually didn't get the publicity, but it's just so weird because of the audacity to do that.
Do you remember
When-
that in the old days was a Winter Olympics? There's an English guy called Eddie the Eagle Edwards.
I
He
remember
used
the
to
name, but
practice
not
ski
yeah.
jumping in a metal wheelbarrow because he couldn't afford it. And he went to the Olympics and he was like the worst jump out of
man.
everybody. But he was the one on the news because he was the guy who
He-
wanted to have a go. So he had
Sure,
to go.
sure. I can see all that, yeah. But
The
it's just
Jamaican,
it's like,
yeah.
is it a mockery? Is it are you just weird? What is going on here? And
I don't
you
know.
go to
it
the Olympics to see the
different.
best of the best, not some clown.
I know what you're saying, yeah.
I know what you're saying, but
But people, at the end of the day, it's all entertainment, unfortunately.
yeah. And at the end of the day, you're a court jester.
It is.
You know what I
Really?
mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's why
But music is kind of like that too these days. It's all over the shit's
Well,
all
it's
over the
always
place. Yeah.
Weird Al Yankovic, hey, yeah.
Well, that was parody on purpose, though. And he's very talented.
No, I'm just that's all I have at the moment. But yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't know. I guess I look at what are we really doing here? What does it really matter? You know what I mean? Like
I get the point of view that you're trying to be a professional thing, but I also get the
I
point
do,
of
I
view-
do too. Yeah.
I also get the point of view of the subversive, and I don't give a fuck element. I'm just going to do this. So because that's the sort of the punk aesthetic versus the gifted rocker aesthetic, aren't they?
Yeah.
I like that aesthetic as well. I think you can have both. Why do you have
because-
to choose? Why do you have to choose? Don't have to choose. Do
Yeah,
we?
like I said, if you go to Andy's, that's what Andy's point is the Olympics is clearly like going to see a symphony, right? Like that's what I came to see. I don't want the parody at my symphony. I actually want to hear. So
don't put your chocolate in my peanut butter.
Yeah,
right?
don't.
So-
Yeah, don't don't come in here with that. Do that somewhere else.
There are other places for that.
'Cause
but
I
this
do
is a very
kinda-
serious venue, right?
I do understand that.
I mean,
But
think
then-
about it. If you
understand.
worked your ass off doing the sport the proper way,
If you spin it back to
I
the
get it.
music
And-
subject,
and-
that some of the music we now like would have been mocked when it first came out because it's like that
some
ain't
of it
music,
still
what's
is
this?
mocked, but yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like when
Yeah.
when you're trying to do something different, guess what? It's fucking different.
Well,
You-
when the piano came
the-
along, everyone learned to harpsichord or clavichord. Piano was shunned. When the guitar came around for classical music, it was shunned. So I mean, everything has its time
Yeah.
where it's not taken
Well, it's-
seriously. But at least there's artistry in there, and people are really playing with the so-called rules and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, it's just I was entertained
Well,
by
I
this
mean, you
thing.
could-
I'm making a big deal out of it, but it's just
What was the
sometimes
number
music
one
seems like
in
that.
late 70s with Oh Superman? That was a 7-minute song, and
Yeah.
people hated it because it's
It's
7
weird.
minutes.
It's a weird
long.
song. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was different, wasn't it?
And Art of Noise was
oh,
doing some of that weird shit too, and it was
It's different.
yeah.
Same with punk rockers is all different, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, we've got 3 chords, mate. That's it. Just really fast and really loud.
I mean, Tangerine Dream's first album, Electronic Meditation, I don't like. It's interesting. I could listen to it
No,
once in a
I
while,
didn't
but
like
I
it
don't
either.
like the music.
No, I did not like
I like their later stuff where it
I
was
found
more
it on
composed
CD,
and
yeah.
melodic
Awful.
and layered
Soulful.
and not just noise music.
it's
Not a
like,
noise
I was
music
saying
person.
earlier when you were talking about your very first hardware jam when you submit it. When people are trying to do something different, it's the first versions there something different, or the first version of something is probably going to be shit.
Yeah,
not
it can
very
be.
good.
It's not
Sure,
flushed
sure.
out yet.
But it's not
flushed
roughed out yet. Yes, that's a better way of putting it. I just said shit, didn't I? That's not a good way of putting it.
Yeah,
Steve.
you did.
Well, I mean, you know,
But you know what I mean. But
Well, they're
but
both flush.
but
Flush
they
is good.
still
it's
but
still poo poo.
it's the first step of going to the second step to the third step.
Yeah.
So you know you need which is
well, it's like when the little kid is
also what I
practicing
talked about
violin.
earlier,
It's
but-
screechy as hell, but you can hear the notes in there, right? You don't have the bow
Well-
technique down, so it sounds like crap, but you can hear the notes in there. So.
But okay, so this leads to. So if you think about Spotify, right? They're gatekeeping to some degree what gets put to the top, right? But everybody
degree.
can. But everybody can.
To a great degree, I think. We'll carry on. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I think one of the things a lot of us think about, which is different, like, is it if someone could put an album out every week, should they put out an album out every week? If it's glutting the attentions of the same people that are trying to hear other people, you know what I mean? Like the
Well, some of them don't have a choice. Their contract wants them to keep going, right? So
I'm not making my point real well. When
but I know
we're
what you mean. Put stuff out when you're really motivated, most likely, than just putting shit out to put it out.
Right. It's like now we can have a grocery store that's just potato chips, right?
Yeah.
And there are so many different flavors, and but now you've got to wade through a lot of potato chips.
It's
to
like
figure
YouTube,
out-
Buy the
isn't it?
chips.
YouTube
I'm
has
gonna buy the chips that put
140,000
more quality
uploads
into
per
the
day.
work, right? I want the
But how are you
artistry
going
of
to
the
find
potato
them?
chip.
How do you find them in
You
this
gotta
We'll
try a
still
bunch,
find them.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Word
That's
of mouth
kind-
will help you will help things being found.
It took me many years to find a jarred pasta sauce that was palatable, because there's so much shit out there, right? And I had to try a bunch of them. Finally, I got recommended one by somebody, and it's the best sauce I've ever had, and I still to this day eat that sauce.
Yeah.
So
Nice
It's
pivot.
like, if I'm looking for music, I don't look for music on Spotify. Ever.
I don't either, but I think people.
Ever. If I'm
I
looking for
don't-
music, I'll find it either on YouTube or you'll find it someone posting one of your friends
Well,
would have
let me-
found something on Facebook, or
Let's-
you'd find it on Bandcamp or something, you know.
Well, I guess I look. All right, here's another way to look at it, because we probably don't give a shit at our age anymore, right?
no, not really.
But if you were like 22, like you see these people that actually want to have music careers, and that's what I do. I just go, I don't know what to tell you. Not that you'd ask me, but just thinking about it, right? I wouldn't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Other
Just
than
say you like that. See that when it's very popular, just copy them a lot.
and then put it where? Like, how would you
Yeah,
even?
if you copy, then you're being the same.
I know, but that's
Like, how would you?
know,
But how would you
if you
even
want to break in
become?
early, you got to copy somebody. It's hard to.
How do
innovate
you
and be,
even? Like, we had a
noticed.
path, though. We understood you had to get on a label, right? That, generally speaking, I know there was other paths, right? But the understood path was you had to get to the point that you could get a label to listen to whatever the hell you were doing and say, I hear something, right? And like, but I guess that still exists a little bit now, but I
Look
wouldn't
at the
even know.
A&R guys in the 70s. There's a reason why so much prog rock sounded the same. They handpicked those guys. So they wanted that sound.
Yeah, but you also got good bands that never got signed because they already had they already had a band signed that sounded like
No, they
that.
signed every
Exactly.
good band. That's a myth. They signed every good band.
Oh no,
Every good band.
yeah, you're right, and you're wrong. So you're right in the yes, they did sign the other bands, but you're wrong as in they signed the band and then shelved it. It never got released.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
That happened a
Shows
lot.
of that.
No, it did, and it's
Not.
sad, actually. You know,
So the
But-
good old days are. Let's just take the good bit out of it. They're the old days. They had
Yeah.
some good in it. And
It
they had
felt
some bad
like-
in it.
it felt like, I think the best part about it was that it felt like it was possible, right? And I guess that's where I'm getting at. It didn't feel impossible to me to make it happen if you had kind of worked really hard and got with the right people. But now I would
Find an
think,
audience back in the day. You needed to do lots of gigs and
No,
get
but
people to
but
follow you around.
but there was a template. There was a template, right, to follow to some degree.
Because these days it's all about touring. You don't make any money from any kind of album, right? So it's just you got to tour.
But nobody comes to. But there's no labels at the shows. There's no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember there was a time when a label would come to a show to scout a
You're
band,
a label now.
right? So what do they do now? Like, you just create a Bandcamp page and you. I don't care personally. I mean, I'm not gonna get rich, obviously, and sure as hell ain't gonna play shows for anybody. They'd be like, "You gotta go play 50 shows." I'd be like, "Nah, I ain't doing that."
Peter Gabriel's on Bandcamp. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I'm just rambling, but
You gotta do your stage show and you hire Ray Gun to dance in front of your band and everyone's gonna
Yeah,
come
you've got to
watch.
get some clicks.
you know what, Andy? You know what?
So,
Could be the way.
You
That's
might
it.
be onto something. Ray Gun and the meat.
seriously, you haven't seen the videos. You got to watch it because she's doing like this weird like windmill arm thing and this weird kind of like sculling through the water moves and like fish flopping on the ground moves. It's a funny.
Oh
things I've
yeah,
ever seen.
she's just getting attention. I can tell.
It's-
She's doing the fish. Yeah, she's doing that.
Yeah. Oh,
You
it's
just
great.
you gave.
There's a kangaroo hop. She's from Australia, right? So she does this kangaroo hop move
Yeah.
where she's like doing this and you know.
She's dumbing it down, right? So once you dumb it down, right, everybody can be involved. But
that's
not what the
why
Olympics is
that's
about.
why the hip hop community
Right.
is shunning her so badly because she's just trolling them, right?
Well, because even the hip hop community had a very, well, to a large degree, especially in the old days, you know, you had to be able to get up on stage. You had to be able to free rap. You had to, there were, you know, all certain rappers, right? There was a pecking order, and you had to prove yourself. So if someone tries to come up and just, you know,
Yeah.
Take the mic.
fish flop,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just glad I don't have to care anymore.
Yeah.
Just do what we do.
But yeah, do what we do, man. There's a lot of great stuff. I don't know, you know. I
Number
still
one
have
thing
taste.
about Number one
You
thing
know, I know
about doing music is have some fun doing it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really.
I wouldn't do it if it weren't any fun.
If you're only ever looking at the dollar signs, then that's the wrong focus. You need to
Yeah.
if you're not enjoying what you're doing and you're not being creative, you're just looking at the money, then it's not going to work, is it?
No, and if you can mix that with having something that you want to get out of yourself, then you got a really good chance of at least expressing something. Yeah. Whether people want to hear it, I don't know.
But you know,
You know,
it is hard to make money because I have a friend I went to high school with who's in 3 bands, and his primary band does pretty well, but they're not famous. You guys never would have heard of them. Another band is a Who tribute band called Pictures of Lily, and another one I forgot the third one. He's the third one he does once in a while. But you know, he has diversified taste, but he also has got to get out there more. So you have to create more bands to get more gigs, right? So.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because you can only play one show with one band, you know, at a place. So then you create another side band.
Another
So you
friend I
can
used to
get-
work with, similar thing. He's in a band that's actually opened for Cheap Trick a couple years ago in San Francisco, and then like he's buddies with the guys in Metallica, but he also does a kind of a surf punk thing on the side, surf band thing, and he has some other band with a DJ of some kind. So these guys are all diversifying big time. You know.
Oh, yeah, I bet. It just gets harder when you get older to pull that off, man.
Yeah.
When you're young, you can do it, but yeah, if you got a family or got a job, you know, it just
And this
gets
guy's a
hard.
wicked bass player. I mean, he's not a flea or anything like that, but he's really, really good. So. Now we got some ASMR. You're eating now, right?
I'm eating some oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had too much vegetables for dinner. I'm hungry again.
Uh-oh.
It's worthless. No, I
gotta
like
eat
it.
more-
You know, like
You got any more of the fibrous vegetables? They stick around longer. Some kale, some red
problem is-
cabbage, some.
if I exercise on the days I exercise, then like if I eat a light dinner, then usually by 9 or 10, I just want to eat like 5 jelly donuts and some ice cream. Just to,
That's what we call a balanced meal.
yeah,
You've balanced it.
so close to like perfection,
Well,
Yeah.
you need the 4 basic fried food groups.
Fried group. Not if you're in Scotland. They have a deep
Oh
fried
shit! Everything.
pizza.
There's Snickers bars, all that shit. Yeah.
Crazy, that.
We have that here with it's called carnival food. So that's where they invented the corn dog
Oh God, we just went
and
to a carnival.
funnel cakes. And,
Horrible food.
all
Horrible
kinds of
for
shit.
you.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And these people
You
wonder
gotta
why
eat-
after a while they can't fit on the rides. Right? They want to ride roller coasters, but they can't fit anymore on them.
They overflow either side.
You know what you do? You go the next morning and you go for your annual physical, get your blood work done, and they're just like, holy shit, dude. We gotta check your cholesterol's like
Yeah, your blood's like 2%
through the
chocolate.
roof.
So yeah.
I did that a couple years ago, like the night before. I ate this big. It's supposed to be a veggie hamburger. It was huge, right? Had all these fries. I ate the whole thing. They're like, your cholesterol. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, no, it's not weird.
Well, nature
Nope.
can be cruel too because even if you have a low cholesterol diet, your body also makes cholesterol, and you can be unlucky, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have pretty decent. I'm always borderline, but hey, maybe there's some kind of benefit there.
But if you eat a lot of high cholesterol food like crustaceans and other kinds of things, that are high
Crustaceans.
cholesterol,
Crustaceans.
can-
What's a crustacean? Shrimp?
lobster.
Oh
you know.
yeah. I can't. Yeah. No, I don't like shrimp.
A Japanese
I mean-
person in a press.
No, I've been lucky. I like vegetables, but I also like bread. That's my
Well,
problem.
part of the trick is don't cook all of your vegetables, right? So many people like my girlfriend, their culture, Chinese culture, they stir fry everything and boil everything.
Yeah.
There's nothing fresh
That's the South.
except for the oranges they eat at dessert. I'm like, have some fresh vegetables, fresh fruit.
You like you?
You know, mix it up a bit.
No, that's like the Southern. My mom was Southern, so everything was just cooked.
Oh yeah, cooked, fried.
It was just terrible.
There are actual phytonutrients you get from uncooked, not just the fiber you get that helps clean you out, but the enzymes and phytonutrients in there that get destroyed by the heat.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm pretty good about. I like vegetables, so that's not a problem. They're expensive, but no more than anything else, I guess. But I also like potatoes.
Uh-oh. Lost him again. Oh, we got some other people here. Hold on. He dropped out. We got another. Hey, Steve, what's up?
Did I lose it?
Sorry if you were sitting there for a while. I
Hello.
didn't see the bottom.
No, it's not a problem. No, how are we all? Good.
We just lost
consider-
David. He dropped off again.
Yeah. No, look, I heard you speaking about the Australian breakdancing, and there are a few problems.
Oh,
with
have you seen that?
generally.
Holy moly.
Look, first of all, how does one get a PhD in breakdancing? I find that extraordinary.
Oh, yeah.
Secondly, how does one get admitted to the Olympic team? There were other kids who were better breakdancers.
You should have seen her trial. Her trial videos online. It's also a bad video.
But the thing is that her selection was taken care of by her husband, who was.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's a teacher. He should know better. He's a breakdancing teacher, and she's not really breakdancing.
I think it was a bit of a debacle, and it just shows how flawed the admission process is, regardless of whether she did well or not. And
It's funny to hear that side of it. I hadn't heard that, so that makes sense, though.
But it just defies all logic. When I think of people who pursue ballet or spend years with gymnastics or with other sports which have a genuine level of skill and criteria, and diving and all those things where they just work very, very hard.
Yeah.
And then someone comes in and rolls around on the floor. I just hope that the I think every epileptic in the rest of the world should turn around and just shame her. Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's because I didn't see all the competitors that day, but I've seen breakdancers since I was a kid, and it is a serious, difficult skill. You know, it's gymnastics on the ground basically, and it's crazy.
There was nothing to commend that performance. That's all I'll say.
No, it's terrible.
It's
especially the kangaroo. The people call it the velociraptor. Or the kangaroo.
Yeah, that was just. I think. Yeah, look, this is genuinely. I think a bit of a piss take. I can't see it being a serious.
There's one that she's doing like she's swimming. Did you see the one she's like swimming?
Yeah, and then they sent her up on Jimmy Fallon's show. They had an actor stand in and do that. I mean, it is a nonsense, but and it.
She's failing up. Yeah,
I think. Look, if she wanted her 5 seconds of fame, she's got it. But I don't think her career is going to be enhanced by that. Nor do I think that it reflects the effort put in by a lot of other sportswomen and sportsmen in their particular fields.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
One thing that came to me was I think if there was an age limit, like an upper ceiling to age in a lot of events, so you say, well, breakdancing, only people under 20 can compete, that would filter it further. Or because a lot of sports, you see the excellence is in the people who, I just cannot fathom how that happened. And I cannot fathom how...
it's crazy, right? I was shocked too. I'm like, I heard all this stuff about it, but I didn't see it. Because NBC is very picky. Like YouTube things are getting pulled down. If your footage is too long, they'll take your video down. So it's hard to find the entire match. And finally I found somebody who did on Twitter. I think it was on Twitter.
I think Channel 7 have a 7 Play in Australia, and I think that is a streaming service which may have captured the whole thing, but you can't can't download from there.
My favorite was these black ladies who did a TikTok where they had the phone on the TV while they're watching, and their commentary is hilarious. Yeah, that was my favorite video so far, is they're running commentary of the thing.
Look, there is a spot for humour, and I think we saw Rowan Atkinson in the opening of the 2012 Olympics playing the synth and for the repeated bass of Chariots of Fire and doing the whole shtick. And then I think Her Majesty the Queen appeared with James Bond in person at the
I remember that. That was kind of funny, yeah.
But they're subtle piss takes, but it's a time in the telecast where you're looking for content. Yeah. Just, apart from just to sort of break it up a little. I think that's fine because it's kept contained and controlled and produced, and it has a definite span. But I don't think that breakdancing is going to be well regarded, and certainly Australia will be thinking twice about submitting someone in the future.
Because now they're not going to have it in the LA Olympics, and it could have been a valid event, but this might have been one of the reasons it's not.
It would have been
just going to say I'm going to duck out now.
Oh, and thanks for coming by.
Take care, Chris.
Yeah.
Hope you're feeling better, and it's going to be a tough period of time for sure.
It's good to have a bit of a chat anyway. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to get everyone
condolences,
talking positively, So
yeah, we have to be positive about stuff.
Yeah. Catch you guys later. Yeah.
Yeah. See you, man.
Cheers.
All right. Bye.
But yeah, I'm glad you came on because I hadn't talked. I was going to bring it up on Ramsey's show because I'm like, what the fuck was that all about?
Well, I think the remarks will be echoed that I can't believe it denigrates the efforts of those people who have legitimate sporting careers and a skill set refined over years and years of training.
Yeah.
And look, there's occasionally the odd humorous thing like. We had in the individual ice skating a few years ago where the Australian competitor was the only one who didn't fall over and wound up getting a medal. So Steve Bradbury, his name is, and the footage is online, but he was the first one to say, I didn't expect to come anywhere in the places. It was just a happy accident that I was way at the back of the pack, and after everyone toppled, I was the one who went through. So that they're legitimate. Sort of situations where there's a sense of humour about it, and the guy was self-deprecating and gracious in success because he realised that his chances were unlikely of getting anything. So, and he's to the metal placement. So that's one situation where you can see the humour in it, but it wasn't intended. There was no malice towards the sport. He'd still trained for many, many, many years. I think he'd done 12 years.
Well, some of those countries, they had like 3 or 4 people total, like these little island nations and stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're not going to be taking the piss out of anybody. They're going to bust their ass because, you know, it's a big deal to send them there.
And then there was Eric Musambani, who competed in the swimming for Equatorial Guinea, and he could barely swim, but he gave it a shot. And we don't denigrate effort where it's genuine, I think. But I think the breaking thing, they should have. The problem is that coming to LA, if you think of the number of young black Americans who are good at it and Hispanic kids who are good at it, I mean, really good at it, and obviously have a skill set in the same way that the skateboarders have a skill set, which is to some degree practiced over many years.
The upper body strength and balance some of these guys have is insane.
Yeah.
There was somebody making fun of the thing, of course, and showing this is what real people look like when they do this. And they showed a series of little TikTok videos. And there was some stuff I've never seen before. And it was breakdancing at a level that's even beyond what I've seen in all these movies and stuff. And I was blown away by it, you know?
Yeah, well, obviously they do handstands, they do aerial sort of work, and there is a huge amount
you know,
of
like how
practice.
the guys will hang off poles horizontally. They're doing it on the ground, like at its extreme angles, and just sometimes on one arm, doing all this weird stuff on one arm. It's like, oh my God, it's unbelievable. The strength.
Yeah. Anyway, you can't. It's happened now, but I it's sad that it brings a whole sport into disrepute because of one person's desperate attempt to make it.
Because they're already going to talk shit
minutes.
about her for cultural appropriation, but then it's like this whole goofy thing. It's like, are you goofy? Are you really joking?
There was nothing admirable about the result, and I think that's the sad part. Because every other Olympic sport that I can think of, even the ones you can't, I mean, even things like synchronized swimming or what have you, take years of practice and.
Did you see the American team did the upside down moonwalk with the choreographed feet? That was crazy. Yeah,
it was, but obviously hours and hours of practice to get to that standard. Whereas I couldn't see hours and hours of practice.
No.
And the other thing is the academic side of things. Okay, she's got a doctorate in this, but I've seen so many. I've been to a lot of award ceremonies where they confer degrees for the major universities, and some of even in the sciences, some of the topics for PhD candidacy are quite obscure or just vague or just of limited practical value. You know, I think there has to be some degree of rigour in the assessment of the people and the skill set of the people who aspire to these degrees. They can't just be cardboard, you know, off the back of a cornflakes box, you know.
Right.
But we need some degree of rigour, and I think it comes back to the music thing you were talking about earlier with, you know, people entering the industry. What have they got to look forward to? I think it was David's thing. And the real thing is that if you're in business, you need an unfair advantage. Now, in America, your unfair advantage may be that you'll capture a small niche market in 300 million people, and maybe that's enough. But even by accident, you can sort of ply your craft and make a buck. But in the music industry now, what's your unfair advantage? Well, all these kids are coming in and saying, well, I don't need to spend 30 years refining my skill set. I can just put AI up and get a shortcut. The problem is that once everyone else does that, it's no longer an unfair advantage. Yeah. And that will, in time, the excitement about AI generated anything will reduce, because all the new ideas come from people who have practiced, basically, that have some.
Well, look at when
skill set
3D
that's
animation came out and got really good, and people say, "Oh, you're going to steal people's jobs." I'm like, no, you still have to have an idea of how to assemble a scene, how to light a scene, how to texture the characters, how to get the animation to be fluid or jerky if it's a cartoon. You know, there's all this other stuff you have to consider. Just because a computer is rendering it for you, there's still tons of work to be done. You know,
I think
artistry.
Yeah, and eventually the legislation will catch up. I think the legal aspects and the copyright infringement and the use of an image or a face or a character for deep fakes and so forth will be brought into question, and there'll be some degree of remuneration for people whose images or likenesses are stolen in the process.
Yeah.
It does raise some interesting questions though, but I don't think we're getting any. No one's turned around and said this entire thing was generated by AI. Isn't it wonderful? Like I'd like to see AI used for things like arranging or orchestration, where if you do a 3-year bachelor degree in music, you may not get very much experience at orchestration because it's normally an option in the final year, and it's not really a huge part of the course. But if somebody could turn around and then automate big band orchestration or symphonic orchestration, or I think years ago IBM tried to generate. I think they used Big Blue to generate Mozart scores, and they were passable, but they weren't extraordinary. And they were always, they were always known to be derivative because they can only use as a template for things
What
they've
they know,
done before. Whereas
Well, it's like I'm just real quick. So, I mean, because people are like, oh, AI is this whole new thing in music. Obviously, we use Isotope, we use Synaptic, we use all these other kind of AI type tools for cleaning up audio and isolating audio and stuff. So people just freak out like, oh, it's this new thing that's going to take over. And it's been around a long time. It's just not generating music as much as it's starting to do now. And you remember Songsmith? That was like an early version of it.
Awful,
which is so bad.
But again, I mean, GarageBand has bits and pieces in it which can automate backings and so forth, but they never actually qualify as being groundbreaking. And I think that we look for some degree of novelty and some degree of skill and some degree of provocation to take us all forward.
But then you have this. Clearly, Spotify is using some pretty decent AI because all those virtual artists they're making now from their repertoire that they already have, where they're taking other people's music already on the system, making new artists, and also generating fake images and stuff to go with that to sell to their own ecosystem. And it's crazy.
But it's padding. It's music. It's lift music. It doesn't have the. I would rather see somebody who is doing something interesting. There are enough good artists out there on guitar or on keyboards to actually, or even in comedy, to actually create things which are entertaining. And I think at the end of the day, AI doesn't tick the entertainment box.
Well, that's the one thing they couldn't do with Seinfeld. Did you ever see that streaming Seinfeld thing that was AI?
No.
They made some fake Seinfeld episodes based on some AI components, and because the way it was trained, it started getting like racist and sexist and stuff like that. So they had to dial it back a little bit because it was trained badly, right? So
the whole aspect of creativity is it relies on some degree of foreknowledge, but it also involves that leap of something provocative or something unusual that triggers a whole new idea and a whole new sound or a whole new musical genre. And if you look at things like, some of the things like hip hop and rap are starting to reduce because people have had 20 years of that now and they know what it's like, and they'll go back and listen to Eminem and stuff and say, that's really the prototype and that's really the example. And we don't need much more than what's been done in that field to actually feel satisfied.
Well, some of the AI stuff I've actually played with in music, some of the hip hop stuff was some of the best fakes because a lot of it's very formulaic, right? As long as you can get your beats and then you dial in a little bit of swing, it's pretty easy, right? But then you get something like a J Dilla, which has a lot of weirdness in it, and good luck with AI doing that, right? It's going to be a little harder.
Yeah, and people now recognise samples when they hear them, and they also recognise, I think they're getting a bit more astute at seeing artists who mime to backing tracks, and they think, well, okay, you can see that someone's 30 foot up on a pole doing somersaults backwards, their vocals they should be breathless, and they're not. They think, well, something's going on here.
Yeah.
And I even recall back to 1978 where the reel-to-reel tape recorder was set underneath the keyboard rack and was in full view of all the crowd at the Myer Music Bowl. It's 100,000 people watching ELO, and with the reels on the reel-to-reel going around.
I remember that story
during the
about
performance.
Yeah.
So it's we've seen that before. We've seen Milli Vanilli. Betty Boo got booed off stage here in Melbourne or in Sydney for miming to a backing track vocally. So that all those artists who do it are going to get caught out eventually. Yeah.
Well, especially something like a Depeche Mode, it's all sequenced, so you can't be playing all that shit live. It's sequenced anyway. So there's some automation already there, whether you like it or not. And one of the guys, one of my friends in Germany, was a roadie for a while for lots of bands out there, and he got to see a lot of the shit they were setting up backstage, and it's an insane amount of automation where they're almost lip syncing and faking playing for lots of shows because people want a perfect show.
Well, I think too the problems sonically with stadium rock are that when you've got 100,000 people in a sports arena, the sound is going to, if you play live, the sound is going to be pretty ordinary, and there's a lot of slapback and a lot of repeat echoes at the 2 and 3 second mark. So you're competing with all these random factors, so that they try and make the backing track as clean as possible from the outset, and they work to a backing track that they at least know is in a static form. But it's not a great way to generate new clients because you're playing in the wrong environment with the wrong crowd at the wrong distance, and you end up with something that. And I've got videos off YouTube from Taylor Swift's concert at the MCG here, which was the 1956 Olympic Stadium. So 100,000 people watching Taylor Swift, and some of these people were paid $700 a seat and then recorded it, and then it sounded terrible. And the other question is the quality of, if you've got a 3-hour show, you've got to play more than 4 chord songs. Yeah. And if you're just playing the standard catalogue, you're going to run out of novelty fairly quickly. By about hour 2, everyone's looking at their watches. So
well, it's like when I saw Rammstein at the LA Memorial Coliseum, where they're going to have the Olympics next time.
Yep.
It's a beautiful open air amphitheater, right? So the sound was awesome, and they had the pyrotechnics going off, and it was a hell of a show. But they're not just trying to dazzle you with the pyrotechnics and just phone it in. There's sometimes I could hear imperfections in there and stuff. They were really playing some of it for sure. Obviously, a lot of it's pre-canned because again it has to be a perfect show, but there's enough of a danger element in there where they can have some vocals that get a little fucked up or some playing that gets a little messed up, and whether it's faded in with the fake tracks or not, I'm not sure, but there's some real stuff in there, which is cool.
Look, I think it does beg into question. I mean, things like auto-tune too can be overused, and obviously we've seen enough evidence of that over the years. So I think there's still enough proponents of live music that work in small clubs or small venues with controlled sound and limited crowds who actually can still turn a buck and still do something novel and give an audience entertainment, and that's what it's down to. And once you start hitting limitations like your material or the vastness of a venue, the entertainment value falls away pretty quickly.
Yeah, for sure. I'm doing a quick time check here. I gotta shut it down fairly soon, but do you have any fun stories or memories of Inky, since we're talking about Inky?
I had limited exposure to her work. I've seen her perform a couple of times and seen her pictures, and I had her as a friend on Facebook. It was sad. It's sad to see anyone from our community pass, because it's the loss of somebody whose ideas were valued and whose company was valued, and someone who's a real human being with real experiences and real anecdotes.
She didn't start Hardware Jam, so she was the heart behind it,
And she was encouraging, and she was positive, and she was energetic and enthusiastic, and I think all those factors are what we value in somebody as a performer. And you don't have to like all her work. You just have to turn around and say, well, she was a decent person who ran true to what she believed in. And and walked the walk as well as talking the talk. And it's very sad to see people go. And condolences to her friends and family, colleagues and music buddies. It's a sad day when we lose one of our own. And
sure.
I might leave it there if you're stuck for time. And I've
No,
come in
I mean,
late, but I think
I got a little bit of time, but I just wanted to get that in there before I have to cut it off. But no, we can chat a little bit more. I need to do something a little bit later, so I need to keep an eye on the time. But I just definitely, since you showed up, I wanted to ask that since we're all talking about her. So
yeah, I think the hardware jams is a good thing. I think even though there's different degrees of automation along with that, I think people are still making the effort and putting the time
it's a
aside.
combination of
to
what you're
produce
comfortable
something.
with and what you're able to do, and time, right? So,
But
like,
listen to some
I
very
literally
good
play
work.
everything in my stuff, even on Machina Plus. I literally play everything I perform, but I had to sequence 90% of it or more because it's a live thing. I can't play it all. I have to have the beats going and some automation of effects and stuff. It has to be somewhat automated, otherwise it's the most boring kind of thing. But you always try to put some live stuff in there at least, so there's some danger and something to look at instead of just pushing buttons.
Well, it's also that you also have little quirks, like when you have synchronization issues and things are sort of slightly out or slightly unpredictable, and you are living dangerously. And all performance is about that aspect of this could be a huge fuck up or a total success.
Oh yeah.
And you're really aiming for the total success. But I listened to the Hardware Jams telecast right the way through. When you alerted me, I think it was about 3 a.m. here when we spoke.
Oh yeah. So like that jam, the modular is very dangerous because I had like the quantizer was fucking up and there's a bunch of like weird notes. I'm like, it is what it is. It's out of my hands at this point.
But I at 3 a.m. I took 2 cups of coffee and some pain relief because I'm normally awake because of the pain that I'm in at the moment for other reasons. And so I just watched it through, but it was
oh cool.
I was quite impressed. It was beyond what I could achieve with my skill set, and that's why you respect it. You respect these people for coming in week after week and delivering and making music of different moods and different sort of impact emotionally. And it does grab you. It's fantastic. It really should.
Well, we
be.
also clearly have some secret pros in there because they're very good. Some of these people are really, really fucking good.
Look, I marvel at it because having struggled with modular for years and not really had any traction with it, I just don't have that skill set. I'm a different breed of musician, obviously.
Yeah.
But that makes me respect what they do all the more.
Yeah, definitely.
It was entertaining, and
I'll be in on the next one. You should do one sometime.
Yeah, that'll make people laugh, but I could give it a shot. Oh. I can certainly give it a shot.
Like Kent, we're trying to get Kent to do it forever, and he's certainly capable of doing something very nice, even if it's only a synth, a piano sound, and some drums or something like that. Just that's all it really has to be. Something basic.
I will throw it in. I mean, but I would improvise it and play it live. I normally would. Put the whole thing. I put a drum beat down on a TR8 or something like that, and then punch in with multiple load synths over the top, and then work between 2 keyboards and work it that way. So that would be my approach. But the level of automation would be nominal. But then again, I do 3-minute tracks, so I reduce the damage that way.
Yeah, they're all supposed to be under 5, so it could be as short as a minute, or they can be up to 5.5, something like that, usually. So
yeah. Anyway, remembering Lisa, I will probably try and put something down and get it out there. But I feel saddened by the loss in the community. I think we all do. I think we can all remember.
Well, she was such a positive person. Like I said, we were saying before, even if people put some of the shittiest stuff up there, she's extremely positive because, especially if it's like the first thing you're putting out there, you don't want to get like bitten and then go, I'm not going to do this anymore, And she was just, no matter what, she was extremely positive and encouraging, not just to get you to join, but if you join, to stay and just, hey, everyone's doing different things. Keep going for it. Good job, blah, blah, blah. It's like a cheerleader, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think in corporate terms they call it a process champion or something like that. But you really need someone who is the den mother of the outfit who can keep all of the infants in line, and I think that's important. That's an important role, and it's sad that you've lost someone who was that big a proponent. I think that's it's a loss for everyone, and I think we have to remember what she did that was positive, and that her care for people was her hallmark, and that's another thing that we all need to practice.
There were many weeks where she didn't do any jams. She's just there to cheer people on and maybe do ideas for upcoming jam weeks, and so she was very, very active, but not always making music for it, because that wasn't. She was just trying to get people to get more involved and do more stuff, and not just like, hey, watch what I'm doing. She's actually trying to cover all the bases of the shows, which is great.
And make sure the variety. I mean, also looking at the variety angle, and also trying to include people. I mean, that's the inclusive angle, and it, as a community, because most of us operate solo for a lot of the time as we investigate synthesizers or try and fix problems or try and create something new. To have someone who looks over the whole pack and looks after them is a fine thing. People who can do that with enthusiasm and genuine grace, and so I hats off to her, and will be sadly missed.
Yeah, most definitely. And she's funny as hell too. She'd come on like the pub and do some wild and crazy stuff, and she's just, not just a very kind-hearted, talented person when she played and stuff, but she was hilarious. She'd come on and say just wild stuff, and it was very funny.
Look, we'll someone might do a bit of a package of some of her clips and so forth, and that would be worthwhile too. I don't have that editing skill, but or the hard disk space, but look, it's something we should all try and do more of, and try and be positive when we come into a. It's easy to shit can things, and we're all critical, but I think that we should also be supportive, and we should try and maintain that mood across all the different continents that people enjoy their synthesizers.
Oh yeah,
and their production.
And I mentioned it earlier, but I don't know if you heard it. But one of the funniest things was when she was just driving Kent nuts one day. They're arguing about the Push 3 and all the features of the Push 3 and what it does and what it doesn't do, what it costs, what it comes with, and everyone's talking about the shortcomings as well as the cool poly aftertouch stuff and MPE and all that. And then she came on a little bit, half in the bag, at least, and just Kent. I've never seen Kent get so mad on a stream. It was hilarious. It's funny. And Chris Head was on there at the time as well on the audio, and it was just very funny.
I think, but we all have different styles, and we all have different degrees of offence that we engage in. But it's nice to find someone who's just a genuine proponent for what they do and just finds the positive in things, because we can all be critical and we can all slam or be jealous or be negative, and really we're not going to create anything with that mindset. We really need to be positive and constructive, and try and support people and make things happen. I think that creative output.
It was a very spirited discussion, right? There was a lot of expletives and a lot of, oh no, it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. And it was just, it went on a long time actually. It was actually pretty funny. I just like, is this going to end? I don't know. So,
maybe that's the sort of spirit that we need to have. That we believe that we can do anything with a simple piece of gear, and just make it do it. And that's the other thing that a lot of people find the corners or the hidden features or the functionality that's often missed, and they make that their own. And that's why we've got such a wonderful array of styles and techniques and a gear out there. Well, we're spoiled for choice now. It's a question of finding the time and the inspiration and trying to make the creativity happen, even when we don't feel like it at 5:30 p.m. on a Sunday night. Still try and push it forward. And that's every artist has that demon to confront and try and grapple with.
Well, I mean, that's why, although I have all this stuff, I get pigeonholed with Machina Plus because it's so immediate and there's so many cool things it can do, and I could literally make something in like an hour and a half from zero, and I can't necessarily do that with a bunch of keyboards in a room, So
Yeah, look, it's hard to be creative on demand, and we'd love to have that. I think we all strive for that ultimately, that we want to be able to turn around and generate the next masterpiece immediately. And it's often difficult to just find the mindset, the time, the clarity of thought, and the inspiration.
yeah. And then, every time you have to hook a bunch of different stuff together, there's that whole exercise of what do I hook up? What is working well with the other thing? And what other glitches am I going to have? MIDI communication problems, audio routing issues, everything. And that's before you even get to the music.
Yeah, look, I'm a dummy. I work with one sequencer, which is a notator program that spits MIDI out the USB port. And then from there, it goes into a Kenton MIDI interface to run 5-pin DIN MIDI, and I run 5-pin DIN MIDI out to every device and set it up so it's on a different channel, and then just work and then test it all out. And then once it's tested out, and that's an hour wasted, then you can start doing your recording, or your performing, or writing. But for me, I don't use USB because I see the amount of time that people with running USB and they can't see what's happening, and it just wastes a lot of time when something fails or doesn't connect.
And you can audio hum sometimes and all that shit, the ground loop.
Yeah, just you're pushing notes and audio and MIDI all up the same pipeline back and forth. And we forget it's serial. It's designed to go one way and then go and then sort of have interchange. It's not designed to do that readily.
It can work well though, and especially even with Bluetooth. I've had really good luck with Bluetooth stuff, and people, say, "Oh, I don't use Bluetooth. I can't trust it." Well, the Rolly stuff, the little Corda thing, those are all Bluetooth, and they work great.
Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with Bluetooth. Bluetooth is like another set of cabling, effectively. So,
but it's another serial thing, right? It's a serial thing through the air. So,
I guess so. I mean, I don't use a lot of Bluetooth either. I must confess, I do for broadcasting from my phone to the sound system, but I don't. I tend to be, and it's just my limitation. I find that I'm so.
But you're also doing that amazing project with the box stuff.
I was
talking about that.
Doing that this morning. Well, yeah, that's getting. But briefly, Wendy Carlos did Switched on Bark, and for the most part avoided the well-tempered clavier pieces. And when I saw that she'd done the well-tempered synthesizer, I said, "Oh, I know some of those songs. I'll go and look at it. Some of those pieces," and they weren't there. She had avoided most of the repertoire. Right? Used the name, but there was sort of a misnomer. And I thought, well, why not? So my thing was to go about first annotating, instead of all piano pieces, which is designed for 10 fingers and 2 hands, I designed it for monophonic instruments. So I had to split apart all the scores. So the first stage is splitting all the scores into individual lines and working out where each of the themes begin and end as they're interleaved, especially in the fugues, where the same figure is repeated at different time intervals and different pitches throughout the piece. And it's terribly complicated. And then I tried to automate that process and it didn't work. And that was using programming experience. And so in the end, it was just faster to type the dots back in. And the other problem was, if you say, "Oh, well, you get MIDIs off the internet," you can, but you've still got to split those apart, or they're full of mistakes.
Those are messed up, right? They're just not.
They're
well
messed
done.
up, and they're just total. And so you wind up checking every bar and every line. So you may as well just type.
It's like the
from
guitar
scratch.
tabs. A lot of those are screwed up too, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, and people were and a lot of people have different applications. They're writing for a bassoon consort, or they're writing for reeds, or writing for sax, or writing for brass, and of course they then have to change the registers and the ranges of the instruments to sort of so it all fits in, and that then bastardizes the original track as it was written. So my thing has been to go back and to go through all each of the 96 works and in every key. So when you get to G sharp minor and F sharp minor and B minor, B major and things, you've got a lot of sharps and flats and accidentals to consider. So it's a bit of an exercise to actually get your head clear enough to actually write it all out. Then you listen back to it. Then you're listening for mistakes. So you sort of go through every bar slowly and then fast, and then you look at it and say, oh, that transcription online, they've got C sharp instead of C in just about every place. And so someone's obviously shifted it, hasn't pitch transposed it and pulled it back, and all of the notes are out. So you find that people have had a go at it and have had limited success, let alone doing both books. So my thing is to get that, and then I'm going to run it on mini Moogs, and they are very thick, unlike a harpsichord, which is a very thin or delicate sound. So it's a bit like if you have 5 mini Moogs playing a contrapuntal or fugue, you've got 5 different notes at any point in time, and it's just spaghetti sonically until you start.
Exactly what
it
Carlos was talking about. Why she wanted all the digital stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, digital tend to be thinner. I mean, I could pull out a Hydra synth or something digital, a DX7 or something on one of the Korgs or the Yamaha workstations, and run 8 concurrent parts into it, and then have something that's very well balanced. But the idea is to learn from learn why Wendy Carlos didn't proceed down that path, and that the transcription's taken me 6 months of solid note jigging, and then it's getting the parts up and then having to produce them and get them tuned. The mini Moog's got to stay in tune for the duration, and that again we know is a challenge. And then you've got to articulate it musically, and then so do I record all in one pass to stereo and say that's it, or do I record multi-track and then go back and then volume adjust all of the parts? That's another huge exercise. So that's keeping me busy at the moment, but it's also a question that I was on medication for a long time that robbed me of clear vision. So you can't do fly shit and without clear vision. So that was a bit of a lull in proceedings while I sort of recovered from that phase of poor medication.
Oh, that's good.
Look, it's coming together, and
can't wait to
I'm looking to pull the first book out in audio form. Very, very shortly. I've just set up all the machines and I've replaced all the valves. So I'm using all solid state. So all of the synthesizers go into DI boxes. All the DI boxes pass into hardware preamps and compressors. All of those go into a Spec X summing mixer, and they go through an SSL mastering suite with a reverb, and then that goes out and is recorded in real time. So it's all down to stereo in one pass.
So it's like $100,000 setup?
Yeah, more. Yeah.
More?
Like,
Jesus.
Well, in Australian dollars it is. Because the Mini Moog reissues about 9,000 Australian dollars.
Wow.
And then all of the 6176 preamp compressor valve combos, and I've got one of those for each voice, so I've got 5 of those sitting there, plus a couple of other preamps to do the other intermediate stuff. And then the mastering suite's about $10,000, and then the Spec X Sum is just a line mixer, it's $4,000, and then all of that's going into a digital recorder. So that's the only time it gets digital, but the rest of it's all just run with
Thanks,
hardware.
Paul, for coming by.
Cheers, Paul. Yeah, so that's what I'm up to. So it's an experiment in masochism. And,
well, I mean, you get a little taste of what she did, plus all that fucking modular stuff she had to do back then.
Well, we forget that she was shaking down the hardware. So she had new machines with new tuning issues. And, of course, none of the ARP circuits for pitch stabilisation were used in any of the early Moog products. So she was working on this floating pitch basis. So she probably had to have the room refrigerated and sat there in the cold while she played it live, and then she had to render every part by hand. And all of those things are very, very difficult to do. The only thing is that with the Brandenburgs, she could make a flute sound for the flute parts, and she could make a trumpet sound for the trumpet parts, and a string-like sound for the string parts. So she could emulate the existing orchestration, and there are only 6 lines, and most of it's in 3-part harmony. But once you get into the fugues in the multiple clavier, it's all of the notes are all dissonances against dissonances. And of course, you do that with Moogs, and you get sort of all sorts of interactions in terms of modulation, even between the parts. So it's just but for me, I don't learn unless I do something stupid, and this was big and stupid.
Yeah.
And so
I
I
have Sophie music.
take care. Yeah, so look, that's it. So I'm busy doing that, and I'll have some audio out soon, and then we can all sit back and laugh and say, it's okay, but yeah, Bug wasn't designed for synthesizer. Well, this will be living proof anyway. Or maybe someone else with more skills will have better success at trying to implement it. But at least it's a bit of an Everest, a personal Everest, and I've learned a lot about the issues that confront a person like Wendy Carlos, but she was doing it in the 60s. And I've learnt from that. I've learnt a lot more about the process and about the hardware and software.
I mean, every step of what she did was incredible, but the most incredible thing was playing monophonic lines, one after the other in different passes, and having them all line up to make those amazing runs. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, well, Bach requires a degree of dexterity that we forget about, and then
but the timing too, to get the timing right on all of that, when it's just all old days kind of stuff, you know.
And we forget that she's running a tape machine, and of course the oxide comes off the reel-to-reel tape after 5 or 6 passes, and you start losing quality and fidelity. So she had that competing demand on her precision. So it's
one of those things where you can love the music and not know shit about it, and then you say, oh, it's these synthesizers. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, it's those synthesizers. Oh, and that's how she set them up. Oh, and that's how she fucking played it. I mean, every time you dig a little deeper, it never stops being amazing. It's just more and more layers.
Yeah, well, she did it by doing multi-track passes. I'm going to try and get it done in one pass and cheat a little by using sequencing. But there's still the issue of having the parts. You've still got to generate the monophonic parts in order to have them rendered. Because I do have polyphonic synthesizers, and at a pinch I might use an Oberheim or something to see if it's comparable or better. But the idea was to do it with the Moogs because of the love of the instrument and the fact I won't get a chance to do it again. You know, it'll be one pass and
the main difference, it's a 12-bit filter, right?
I think the Minimoog Voyager has a choice of filters in the firmware. I think you can go 18 or 24 or 12.
Oh, you have a choice. Okay, right. Because the primary Magic filter is a 12, isn't it?
I don't know. I think I'm dealing with the annotation issues at the moment. I haven't got down to production.
Right.
I do thin it down to one oscillator a machine. So, because once you get the detuning in, of
Not
course,
12,
there's
but 12
more
pole.
congestion.
Sorry, 12 pole.
Yeah, 12 pole.
I'm thinking computers.
Yeah. So, again, it's not a question of being snobby about it. It's a question of just understanding what the limitations are of the form, what the limitations are of the hardware, and then trying to create something that's musical and entertaining at the tail end, and that's the basic criteria. Because some of the things that I heard off some of the switched on Bach stuff were limited, and I thought, would I have done it that way? And there are 2 preludes I think she did, or a prelude and a fugue on switched on Bach, and an unusual choice of sounds that were used.
There's some really weird sounds in there, yeah.
And it wasn't what you would call aesthetically pleasing in places. I mean, people.
Oh, I mean that real fast one. It goes with the little like abrasive sounds. That one.
Yeah,
it's like a scraping sound.
It's fascinating to hear, but I'm hoping that maybe the other thing is that there are 48 in book 1 and 48 pieces in book 2, and it may just be that you pull out of that 2.5 hours of music, you pull the best 40 minutes of the most sonically pleasing works and say, okay, that's the selection. That's the process.
One of my favorite parts is because Bach left the second movement of the third Brandenburg Concerto open to interpretation, so orchestra could decide how they want to. Conductor could say, "Oh, we do this a little transition part, right?"
Yeah.
And that's one of the coolest parts on the album because it's this sonic exploration of all these weird, like crazy Moog sounds, right? It's like a great demo record.
Well, I think, also, if you look at Handel's Concerti Grossi, everyone says, oh, they're nice pieces. But the whole notion of that was that Handel had that as the backing track, and he would extemporise and improvise and play things on the clavichord against all of that backing. So really, Angel's Concerti Grossi from the same period, roughly, show some degree of here's my backing track and here's my live performance over the top of it. And so that's an interesting thing too. So Bach sort of had an element of that. But remember, Bach was writing for the church, so every week he had to come up with an offertory and a prelude.
Oh yeah, that's nuts.
Fugue,
You think about his output. Yeah.
A couple of cantatas for the choir, and he had to rehearse it and do it. And he had 21 kids, and so the competing demands would have been huge. And it's remarkable that the guy could just. If you look at some of his later works on the Well-Tempered Clavier, there are some chromatic ones. There was one in B minor, which is completely chromatic and almost nuts. I mean, it was just an exercise in genius. And then another one, I think BWV 889, which was the A minor prelude from the second book. It too is chromatic, and not only that, he reverses it, turns the whole thing upside down, and so the second page is inverted against the first page. So, there's a lot of skill in what he's done, but he obviously had the chops up here to actually conceive this stuff.
You can also really appreciate it. Like I loved. He's still one of my favorite composers of ever, and I love the output. But I don't know the theory that well to know when I'm hearing all that stuff. So
you'll hear it. You'll
well.
hear the chromatic ones. If I put liner notes with the pieces at any stage, and I might do that on YouTube. It's just to get them out there and to have them.
It's like the old joke. Like I know, I don't know what art is, but I like what I like. Right? So.
Yeah, I know what I like. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's Eric Idle in the Michelangelo sketch for for Monty Python, live at the Hollywood Bowl. In fact, he does that. So
he does.
So it's just an interesting exercise to learn this stuff and to see it all and to go through it and nitpick through it and work your way through the complexity of it, because it's a vast undertaking, and it is something that creatively is just a monument. I mean, that's why it's lasted 350 years.
Sure.
It's quite superb. Anyway, I'm going to leave you on that note. I think we should wrap up.
Yeah, I gotta go do a few things and finally get some food, and I've been out here for about 4 hours almost. So
good to see everyone in the chat, and again, condolences to all who were close to Lisa, and we shall review her Inky to Cat works with appropriate reverence, I think, now, and a little bit
for sure.
a grin. But
no, it's good.
Anyway.
It was good to get people on here, and just it's been a really tough day because most people found out either late last night or early this morning or whatever.
Yeah,
so
grieving's hard. Yeah,
it's very tough. So it's good to have some positivity and get people talking about the good stuff,
Yeah, everyone be enthusiastic. Go and do what you do. Don't worry about the critique. Just go and do it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So yeah, one of these days you got to do one, just for shits and giggles. Just do one.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. It will raise. I can do it with. I could do a rap dancing one. I think that's probably within my scope.
You got to work on that swimming move,
the breaking,
and that kangaroo move,
and the dead blowfly on the floor going round and round and round.
The flopping fish move.
Ah, yes, that's right. Yeah, we can do all of the. Yeah,
that's so unbelievable.
It's built for me. I'm sad. I would have been in next Olympics otherwise. I would have been in next Olympics, but they've canned it. I think that's very sad.
I think they knew ahead of time there was going to be some shit, and they said we don't want to deal with this because, like you made the observation, as I told people before, off stream, is that LA's a hotbed of that shit. I mean, if you watch Breakin' and Beat Street and all that kind of stuff, Breakin' 2 Electric Boogaloo was shot in Venice Beach, and Jean-Claude Van Damme actually has a cameo in there, doing a little dance when he was a nobody. And these leotard kind of things. And it's so funny to say, that's Jean-Claude? He was a nobody back then, right? And so there's a huge dance culture out there, breaking, popping, locking, all that kind of stuff. And for someone to do that in LA would cause a fucking riot.
Well, I think online, if you look on YouTube somewhere, there's Ewan McGregor, the actor who played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor at age 16 playing French horn, playing one of Mozart's French horn concertos. I think it's Kirkel 495 in E flat. And he's playing that earnestly as a 16-year-old diligent music student. So it's good to see people practicing their craft, but people people keep those old tapes, guys. So erase your VHS videos immediately.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we only have a video camera in the family because I bought one. I was a video nut. I was working at the video store, and I wanted to do short films and maybe make some movies at some point, but just mess around with video. I like the idea of it because we never had Super 8 cameras and all that kind of shit. So there's nothing other than photographs of my childhood and slightly older antics. Thank goodness, because cell phones would be really dangerous. You know?
Yeah, I was never good with cameras, and it's I think it's one of those blessings that has been bestowed on the rest of the world. Anyway, I'm going to say hooroo. We'll catch up soon. Good to see you, and remembering
you too.
Lisa. Remembering Lisa.
Thanks. That's right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.